We love the company. The company. The company. We love the company. The company. The company. Hi everybody, welcome. Hey, what's going on? We got a little bit more of a chill vibe. Let's maybe decompress and kind of talk about some of the stuff that's been going on since I guess my series has finished its runtime. We've got Kathy with us. We got Manya with us. Nonsense said she was going to be able to make it, but she wasn't sure on exactly what time, so she may swing in here at some point. We'll see when she gets around to it. But how's everybody doing? It's the weekend, right? It's Saturday. Hell yeah.
Sunday.
Time
I am
exists.
in the future. Yeah.
Kathy, it's your
Time
first time
zone
here.
exists.
Welcome.
Well,
I think this is
Yeah,
the
hi.
first
hey
time we've been
Kathy,
in a
welcome.
call.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited. So just to give a brief explanation for today, we're doing a little bit of a Q&A, so we will be taking comments or questions from the chat, so that way we can maybe clarify things for some people who don't understand what was going on, or there's some things that were unclear, or there's some things that we missed and didn't get commented on that you would like us to comment on. So anything along those lines, there's, as far as I know, nothing off the table as of right now, so if there's anything that's like, it's old, if it's new, it doesn't really matter, feel free. Just please be sure to tag me so I make sure I do not miss your question, because it's possible that I might miss it. I will do my best to make sure I can keep track of everything, and we'll get through this as best as possible. Do you guys want to see something ridiculous?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Of course, always.
Look
Oh my
look
god,
at
my squirrel was here to eat.
this right here are all the links, all the reference links for my
Wow.
series.
Oh my god. Holy moly.
So I'm gonna put
Holy
these.
moly.
I'm gonna put these in the description of this chat, as well as I'm gonna put it in a on the community tab as a post, so that way people can go through. And you'll notice that there are a couple that are not available. So that's just because they've either hidden those videos, or those videos are no longer available, for either they've been on lists, or sorry, either they've been made private or they've been deleted entirely. Yeah, I don't know. I can't, I won't be able to answer that
They're
one for
not
you,
there
but yeah.
anymore.
Yep. Yep. So
Or they're
that's
behind
how
a
they're all
paywall.
organized.
You
Oh,
gotta pay
yeah.
membership if you want to see them. Like, please,
Yeah.
girl, you're not that exciting. But let me be clear about something, so everybody knows before we even get started. I never doxed a child. I never doxed anybody. I read a public comment on a public video, just like they do, and it is the name that person uses on their TikTok, on all their social media. Nobody was doxxed.
Do we actually need to go over what the definition of doxing is? Like, I'm pretty
It wouldn't
sure.
matter.
Yeah, you would think that this is something that people would be on board for if you're gonna start accusing stuff. Doxing is the release of someone's private information, usually and almost always for malicious purposes. Right? It doesn't have to be malicious. You can have an accidental dox, but it has to be the release of otherwise not public information. If the information is already public information, it is not a dox. It cannot be a dox. If you can Google it, it's not a dox. If you put your last name in your email, and that email is tied to your YouTube channel, that is public. Not a dox. If somebody leaves a comment, and that comment is putting out somebody's private information, the commenter would be the person who committed the dox, if the information was in fact private. You're welcome.
So yeah, so stop. So yeah, so just all the people out there who want to be like victims so fast, stop. This is getting out of hand, and you are doing a disservice to people who are actually getting doxxed.
I think that there's also like a degree of people relying on other people's like ignorance of a topic, because ignorance isn't inherently a bad thing, right? It's okay to not know something, right? But if you're trying to take advantage of somebody's lack of knowledge in an area, you're the problem.
Exactly. And that's what she does. And the sad part is, she takes
Vada?
advantage of their lack of knowledge at the same time. Yes, Vada the Theta. the two top wearing potato. You know, I did a Mr. Potato Head of her. That was my co-host for a couple videos, and we couldn't find out where all the money. You know, in the back of the potato heads, there's an open door. You know, and you can stick stuff in the back end. Well, you know, we've been wanting to know where all that money that was raised went because there was never, you know, no legal anything.
Right.
No receipts ever really shown except for the ones that Vada likes to cut, paste, crop, glue, whatever you want to call it. She puts it all together that don't fit.
Right.
So I stuck some money in the back of there, and whenever I was ending my co-host, I had it pop open and the money come flying out.
It's pretty
I had to
impressive,
get some
actually.
fun out of it. I actually took my kids' potato heads kits.
It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen people in that group making GoFundMes or legal claims and then never actually showing where that money went, showing that that money actually went anywhere, never actually filing.
And
Never seen that before.
Accusing people who their refunds of fraud, you know, people who took refunds.
Yeah, has there been any word about that, Manya, by the way? Because that's like, that would be like an international credit card fraud that you got accused of.
Right? Nothing.
Oh, wow.
My bank's happy with me so far. I don't know.
Who could
They've been like,
have possibly...
would you like to open another savings account, please? I'm like, no, thank you.
Who could have possibly foreseen that?
Right?
So I've got a question for
And all
Kathy.
these accusations. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, no, you go ahead. You can go first. I'll ask after.
No, just all these accusations being made all the time with never no receipts. And girl, please shut up. I'm not going to waste my time and energy to sign you up for Pornhub when I know how much you love Pornhub. You already have a paid membership. Why would I sign you up?
Right.
There's
a
go
ahead.
What happens is, if I may, so whenever you're putting in your email that you usually use for your YouTube, for your Twitter, you sign up for shit, right? Sometimes you sign up for a subscription or you accidentally sign up for a subscription. What happens is these companies, they collect your data and they sell it to other companies. And what these companies do is they start sending you emails to like invite you to join. It is possible that's what was happening, but it said that it's an account and people were like subscribing to the account. It's really possible that someone might have, you know, made an account in her name to troll her. But who did it? She doesn't know. She can never know who did it. So for her to go out and say this person did it is really, really dishonest. She
PR hub?
She said, yeah, oh God, PR hub.
I wouldn't even
that's a
know
joke,
where to begin to do that kind of stuff. I don't. Hey,
Oh, it's really not
60-year-old
hard.
grandma taught
So-
herself how to do all this.
Yeah, so there's a it's a very, very old troll to sign somebody up for Pornhub, but it does nothing.
Yeah.
All it does is send you an email saying you've been subscribed to Pornhub, and then sometimes you'll get Pornhub emails. That's it. That's all it'll do.
That's it.
And so the way you do it is very, very easy because if you have a YouTube channel, it means you have to have a public-facing email address. So you go and get the email address, and then when you sign up for Pornhub, that's the email address you put in. It's not like you don't have to pay for anything. It's just like you can do it with bots. Like that's one of the reasons why you have to click I am not a robot to see somebody's email address on YouTube nowadays. It never used to be the case. So people would just bot farm emails and then spam sign people up for shit.
Yeah.
They tried to mitigate that by adding the click the I am not a robot button, but it is it's an old troll that doesn't actually harm anybody. Like, it doesn't, like, do anything to you. It's just an email that you're gonna get that's gonna go into your spam folder.
You're worried about your image. Like, if you're worried that people might see your name on that website and you don't want it to be there, then you can go to Pornhub and you can request, like, okay, this is not my account, they're impersonating me, take it down. I'm quite sure Pornhub will be very, very happy to do that, right? And also, Avery said from the live chat, it's also important if you worry about your privacy not to link all your accounts with the same email, because people who want to can track you through your accounts and pick up private information. That is that is correct. So for example, for YouTube, I use a different account. For my Twitter, it's a different account. So my professional account, nobody knows that except Chesh. She knows that.
Yeah, I have separate
No
I
one
have
else.
separate accounts for different things. Like one of the reasons why the hacking on my Discord didn't go very far is because it's not hooked up to my YouTube. I have a whole different email for that. Like you put in levels of security, right? And this is just something that
Yeah.
if you're going to do YouTube, if you're going to do anything on any platform, it is important to make sure that you understand your responsibility for your safety. If you don't do the research, you're gonna become an easy target and an easy victim. And now that doesn't negate your victim status, right? If you don't do the proper steps, it doesn't mean that you deserve to be hacked or you deserve to have your information put out there. But it's important for you to be informed about what your information actually is, what is private and what isn't, particularly if you're going to start accusing people of crime.
Yeah, that's
when
like
you sit there
a
for-
stretch too far.
Yeah.
And when you sit there for a year and brag about how you are paid subscriptions to all these porn sites, why would anybody even bother wasting their time since you've already got paid memberships?
Right. Yeah, it's not really. It's a nothing burger is what it is. It's a nothing burger
And
for people who she thinks she can, this is Vada, right? Who she thinks she can outrage by saying that somebody signed me up for Pornhub. Oh my god, poor me. And it's like, but you got an email from Pornhub. That's all you got. She expects it's like I'm using it's trigger words, right? Like porn and spam and blah blah blah, harassment.
I mean, I get nothing but porn on my Twitter, and I don't know why, because I don't even watch porn. But I don't even get straight porn. I get gay porn. Oh my god, send me something. I want to watch it, please.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. So there's something that's interesting about like the way algorithms work, right? Because this is a difference between like Twitter and YouTube. Twitter's algorithm has gone to shit. It used to be like you could very much curate what you wanted your Twitter to look like by what you engaged with, and then using the block words and there were a good number of tools. Nowadays, all those tools are basically, sometimes they're going to work, sometimes they're not going to work, sometimes the algorithm is doing this, sometimes the algorithm is doing that. Ever since Elon Musk took over, it's just a complete shit show. YouTube, on the other hand, if you are watching specific types of videos, YouTube will start recommending those types of videos. So if you do not want Katie Joy content, you need to stop watching Katie Joy content.
Katie Joy content. I never get any Katie Joy stuff recommended on my home screen on my YouTube because I don't watch it. That's not my mojo. And and also like if you want to be on YouTube and you want to create content, just get used to the fact that there will be trolls out there who will try to instigate you. You gotta use your brains and decide what you want to do. If you want to make your victimization as content, then go for it. But then don't be surprised if people question you on what you claim or what you accuse other people of, especially crimes. So, right. But if you don't want your victimization to be part of your content, then don't talk about it. There's no need to talk about it. Just ignore that bullshit. Like, you know how many times I've got like spam emails like where they're saying, oh, I've got your like pictures, you know, in compromising positions and videos, or if you don't pay me money, I'm gonna release. And I'm just like, bitch, fuck off. I don't care, you know. So it's like
I had Steve's
someone try to blackmail me over pictures of a cat. Yeah.
Over pictures of your cat?
Cat porn, they said. Yeah.
Oh,
like, okay, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead and release them. I really don't care. Knock yourself out.
I had Steve's old trolls back in the day found a porn actress that they said looked like me and started posting her stuff, and I'm like, my response to it was, support sex workers! Yay!
He's still in hiding?
Yeah.
So from my understanding, he is poking his head back out to talk about the never-ending conversation of agnosticism versus atheism.
Oh,
he's got to go back to his comfort. He's got to go back to his comfort food.
Yeah.
And he ruined a good. At one time, he ruined a good show.
Go on.
At one time, that was a good show to watch.
Oh, Nonsack?
You guys did. Yeah, you guys did He ruined that, in my opinion. Sorry, but he
Yeah,
did.
the non sequitur show was a good show. It had problems like anything else, but it was a good show, and I thought Capping Corner was very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show. I had fun for the most part. I thought it was informative. I'm probably gonna redo it in the new year. Then then
Nice.
Steve will be out of the way. So if anybody is interested in those topics, that's something I do definitely want to talk about later on today while we're all here. But yeah, what did you have, Manya?
I'm just saying the audacity of Aaron to say that, or to suggest even that, Steve was surrounded by, idiots before the split up. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think so everyone knows who the idiots were. You can, like you said, you can see that clearly by observing the quality of the content before the split when we were with Steve, and when we left, after we left, when these bimbos were with Steve. It was all Katie Joy and transphobia and racism. That's what it was on Steve's channel and the non-sec channel. So yeah, Aaron, can you think? Do you think before you like blurt out or type out shit and hit enter or tweet or something like that?
She
Like,
sent
do
the
you?
funniest shit. What is that, last night? Oh my god. I'll show you. Hold on.
Oh
Let me
yeah,
pull it up. You go
show
ahead.
us.
I'll pull it
I
up for
watched
Everybody
you.
about
like,
5 minutes of her video about you.
Oh god.
Because her trying to debunk you and Manya is like watching. It's like watching somebody getting their teeth pulled. I mean, it's very painful because her elevator just doesn't leave the ground floor ever.
Yeah. No,
no.
there's not a whole lot of the problem with all of their videos about these topics so far has been that there is no substance. It's just them talking. And so because it's just them
Yeah.
talking,
Ad
there's
hominem.
nothing to actually well, even besides ad homs, even if you were to take out all the fallacies, right? Whatever you're left with,
Yeah.
which is not going to be a whole lot, is still not based in anything that they're showing. It's just like their opinion, man, which is also based on who knows because they didn't show anything.
Nothing.
Fucking nothing.
They're just like any other gossip column. Like, what's the difference between them and a gossip column, right?
Right.
Don't at least be out there and say that publicly. It's like their every sentence or thought starts from, I don't know, but I heard from someone, and I think, and I'm just like,
This
objection,
one
Your Honor,
here.
that's hearsay.
This
That's hearsay.
one here. Oh my god, check out this video that
Oh.
Chesh made about me. It's about time someone started making videos like this about me. I've only been asking for 3 years. Bro, you've been asking for 3 years? Are you
Girl,
for
she's so
real?
butthurt that you don't consider her worthy enough to be a cult leader. She was
Oh,
so butthurt over
please.
that, she had to do a whole live over it.
Oh my god, this was amazing. I fucking love this. Thank you for making this. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Congratulations on the fan account. Like, she's so. Oh, she'll be back from taking a piss in a minute. Then it won't be empty until the next bathroom break. Like, she's.
Well, at least Vada don't have to go
She's
for it
not-
because she streams in the bathroom.
The chair,
Aaron,
the chair.
I get it. Aaron, I get it. You're very good at like controlling your bladder because you're drinking all the time on the stream. I don't judge you for that, but you don't have any right to judge someone else if they want to empty their bladder. Okay? Just
Yeah,
like.
boy.
What
I
did
don't know
I
if you're
just
wearing,
watch?
If you wear diapers or something, I don't know.
What did I just watch? Is she bitching that Steb is the leader and not her? But guys, I started the gang.
Yeah,
I didn't start
you did
the
a whole
gang.
live on it.
I didn't start the gang, but I'm the bestest member. Since when do you have to start it to lead anyway? That is a new rule. You can't go moving cult posts like that anytime it looks like a female might might lead the sheep. I'm just as worthy of the attention as Steve is. Go ahead, ask me anything about philosophizing.
Oh my god.
She is trying so hard to play off like the fucking joke
Yeah.
that she's
But
just
she's so
way
bad
over.
that it's like-
Yeah.
It's
Bottom
like
line
she's
is she's
failing and
butthurt
slipping at it
because you
so
didn't think she was
miserably.
She's
you didn't think she was
awkward.
worthy enough to be the leader.
So she went like under every comment to like reply.
Not
Oh my
every
God, I
comment,
did
but
not-
a bunch of them,
but
yeah.
almost every comment, right? Almost every comment. Oh my god. Like, Aaron, you overplayed your
Spam.
hand in this one too. What the fuck? you
It's so
overplayed it.
funny.
You only comment once and that's it. You leave it. You don't do it like every second comment. You don't go under there and talk about it. Oh my god.
It's really
She doesn't
funny.
know.
Although I do enjoy that she's put me in the position of now that the only way she gets famous or gets acknowledgement is because of me. It's only me. It's all me. It was all me the whole time. But I find it amusing how
Yes,
much
that's
she
the
cries about, well, Steve's getting the attention because Steve's a man. And it's like, what are you talking about?
And I think so. What she's trying to say is like, Steve is being attacked very, very unnecessarily, and she is tough enough to take that on if anyone wants to throw it her way. I think so. That's what her message is, and I was
Posturing.
like, no, you're not tough. Yeah, you're posturing. You're not. As soon as someone criticized you, you went in their past to bring up old bullshit. That's what you did. You actually went in their past and try and get their ex involved into all this. I don't know, Aaron. Did you ask Reds? I don't know, but because he gets really pissy if you like involve him without asking him. I'm just wondering if you did ask him, you know. So yeah. So if you have to go in the past, I think that they. Oh yeah, this is a repeated pattern of behavior. They did the same with Charla. They went all the way back to find her family, and spew bullshit on YouTube about her. So I'm not surprised they do that. But then, honey, it tells me you have got nothing. You've not got nothing to back your shit up with, or not even back your shit up. You don't have anything. You don't have any shit to say. So that's very, very, I would say pathetic. Not even sad. It's pathetic.
What are you thinking, Kathy?
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to think of something in a nice way to say it, but yeah.
Don't worry about it, Kathy. Don't worry.
It's okay. They don't do anybody else the decency of thinking, so don't worry about it.
When somebody actually sits there and makes a video and cries through the whole video that, hey, I am just as good. I can be a cult leader. That's all she got out of it. I was, girl, you've had one too many of those drinks you made. Something.
Oh yeah, we
You
have
can't make
several.
When she responded back to me and told me that when I said that, she was stagnant because of her content, because of, it was nothing but Katie, old Katie stuff too, she was digging up because she needed content. And then it was nonsense. I'm like,
Yeah,
she
I
told
noticed
me
that too.
she was good with that. That is a decision she made. And I still have the comment, but she was good with that. That was it for me. That was it for me. It's like you're nothing registered.
It's kind of like a very odd thing to me to try to excuse, because realistically, she if I remember incorrectly in her recent video, Erin's recent video, she's complaining that she's not getting enough attention, and then and then she covered the intro video in which she had people in her chat being like, oh well, if Chesh, like her, makes this claim, then she should be proving it. And I'm like, yeah, no, duh. It's an intro video. Of course, like, why are you asking why the content isn't in the trailer? Like, what are you talking about? But on top of that, she had this idea that she's like, why won't you talk about me? You want to talk about I? She's never shown the 2 videos that I did addressing what she said. She doesn't want to, because she can't. It's too embarrassing. Jack for 10 said the bottom line is Steve gets the attention he dug a hole for. Mary Crimbo, get our pucks and yourself something nice. Oh, thank you very much. I'll make sure Puck gets Christmas presents. But the thing with Steve is, all we said about Steve, or all I said about Steve, was he didn't get swatted. Aaron agreed with me. And then all of these people started making videos in regards to addressing me saying he wasn't swatted, about Charla and about like all this other stuff that was going on. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, let's look at this. Now that my audience is familiar with this stuff, it's only fair or reasonable that I go, okay, I'm gonna spend a day and we're gonna take a look at all this shit and we're gonna see where it goes. These motherfuckers have been doing this for months. And then they're like, why is Chesh talking about us so much? I'm like, I said 1 day. I gave you 1 day. What are you on about? We did get a question from Winter. that says, do we think that anyone will ever take any member of the company seriously again? What do you think, Manya?
I don't think so. If they don't address what has been put in front of them as criticism, yeah, everybody will take them as a joke, and that's what happened when Erin tried to do her live that after the whole Vada debacle and shit. And everybody was like, "What are you on about? Why are you talking about this? We don't know what's going on." Blah blah blah. Her chat was not happy with her, so much so that she had to switch it off within
Right.
around 1 hour mark and just go away. So
Put
we
them in your
already know
bedroom.
that people. Sorry, yes, Kathy.
She was talking to somebody
No,
else.
sorry, I didn't mean. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. This is fine. This is what we have every dumb Friday. We just talk
I got
over
littles.
each other.
They're only 5.5 and 8.
Uh,
They don't always get them. Mommy Kathy's busy.
Aww, little guys doing little guy
Littles.
things.
So yeah, people are not taking them seriously, and all Renelle could come with was calling you what nonsense's dog. That's what she called you. If that's all you
Mm,
have, Renelle, then Chesh's point stands and her criticism stands. What's going on with you? Crickets. So yeah, people are not taking them seriously anymore. They're just like, oh, never thought about it that way. So I'm glad their audience is now like, really? Do we really want to watch this bullshit?
What do you think, Kathy?
I, they have no credibility, zero credibility, none of them. They really never have for me because I've known from the get go what's going on.
Sure.
Um, I, I could never take serious anything coming from them. I just couldn't. I don't even understand how people do. It's mind boggling to me that you can sit there and actually believe. You can't really seriously believe what they're saying. I mean,
Sure.
they tell on themselves while they're sitting there telling you everything everybody's doing with no proof of anything. They're actually telling on themselves. Just listen to what they say.
Yeah. I think that do I think that there are people that are going to take them seriously after this? I
Yes.
feel like that there will be, but not because it's quote unquote after this. It'll because they never saw this. You know what I mean? Like the people that are going
Yeah.
to take them seriously are only going to be people who are either ignorant on purpose, like they know shit is out there, but they don't want to go see it. It's one of those things where if you start to be part of a group, and you start to be part of a group that's that kind and the type of toxic that this group is, it's to go and engage or even to go and watch is already a big hurdle, right? So any of like Aaron's or Veda's or people who watch Farron for any like amount like decent amount of time are going to have a struggle to even just click off of those videos and out of that group, keeping in mind how much content these people generate between the what, 7 of them. So like between you're talking like hours and hours and hours of content. So if people are trying to keep up with what they're saying, they're already investing a huge amount of time into just keeping up with them, let alone anybody like you or me or Manya or nonsense, right?
You're right.
So I think
I
that
didn't think of it that way. Yeah.
there'll be a handful of people that are, to me, when I first showed up and I kind of was looking around to see what the fuck was going on, I noticed that people were already frustrated. Like people who were even like following them and supporting them were frustrated with this content and how like ridiculous and how like strung out everything was, and their audience was just 24/7 wired. Like, what's gonna happen next? Oh my god, it's gonna be this. It's like you cannot keep people here 24/7, because if you do, they're gonna get burned out, right? So like there's no value to it. So even if it is like fabricated, like even just in writing or like a book, your whole book can't be climax, right? You need to have lulls in what's going on. And so when I came in and started talking about this, I think a lot of people, whether they currently agree with them or not, whether they currently agree with me or not, still enjoyed the content because it was something to be like, okay, we need to shake this up a little bit. This is insane. Hold on a minute. What is happening? But
You
so
get on. to make videos the way they do, each of those, they bounce off each other.
Yes.
None of them bother to take 2 seconds to look anything up. Renell couldn't even get right who did the video on the damn comment in the first place. And you're going to sit up here and accuse people? Girl, you're saying she's a racist. I'm the one that did the live on it. I'm the one that read the comment. Nonsense had absolutely nothing to do with it. Nothing. And she couldn't get that right. She did a 15-minute video slamming nonsense for my video.
Because I know why. Because nonsense is their next target to make content off on. They had Katie Joy. She's becoming a little generic. Whatever they covered on her is becoming a little generic, and their audiences are, because they are so, like Chesh said, see, they're so wide all the time. They are now, that doesn't work for them, so they have to find someone new to target. So it was nonsense. So again, another step high for their audiences. And that's what I've noticed with, especially with Erin. I've noticed that she's gone after nonsense specifically. If not Katie. If it's not Katie, it's nonsense.
Well, Steve does the same thing, right? He circles the same topics, right? He's talking about agnosticism. If he's not talking about agnosticism, he's complaining about Matt Dillahunty. If he's not complaining about Matt Dillahunty, he's talking about Kyle and or Katie Joy. If he's not talking about Katie Joy, he's taking a break to talk about fucking agnosticism again. As soon as the heat gets too much, he circles back to agnosticism every single time.
Yeah.
He did it in the past, too.
Well, you know him very well. You know him very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. There is audio and video out there on Steve's channel, Steve saying that I can't screw Chesh on this deal because if I do, she has all of the power to destroy me. And I'm like, yeah.
I'll take that. Chesh was like,
it's not hard. It's not. I said this when I was working with Steve years ago. I was like, it is not hard to criticize Steve. The problem is there were too many people overreaching and then not focusing on the very real criticisms, which is exactly the same thing that Steve and Farron and and Aaron and like all of them are doing to Nonsense and to Katie and to Charla at this point. Right? It's like, you're overreaching. You're overdoing it. It's not hard to criticize Katie Joy. But if you reach to every single fucking thing, you look ridiculous and you become the problem. Right? Because now, your behavior is getting in the way of the criticism.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've never seen them actually review her content. They don't actually review the videos she puts up. They go after her post about her personal stuff. They don't never go after the content. If you're going to be a commentary channel and you're going to review her, review the content she's putting out, not stalk her personal life, stalk her neighbors and everything else.
My God,
Kathy, there's a reason why Renell hasn't covered Chesh's video at all. She hasn't even mentioned Chesh's video or responded to it or criticized it back or anything like that. Why Aaron hasn't done it? Forget moderate extremists and Megan. They don't have the brains to do it. They come from the Unirock crowd. They don't have it in them.
They don't make that kind of content anyway. It's their
not
I was so confused watching their videos as to like their live streams. I was like, why was this public? Why is this not just a conversation between two? What is this doing on the internet?
And I was under the impression that Megan was in rehab. But her Twitter is active, so I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I don't know. Is she somewhere where they are allowed internet connection? When in the first place, it was the internet that caused her to, that had caused her to be pushed towards rehab. So I don't know. But I am concerned from that point of view that if she wants to recover and stuff, she shouldn't be on Twitter. She shouldn't be on Twitter.
That's actually something that's really interesting. Their response to my series of videos coming out has not been to respond to the videos. It's been to scramble over and throw each other under the bus as fast as fucking possible.
Oh, yeah.
Without even addressing what I had said.
Yep.
And like I said, out of all that, all Aaron could come up with is she was in her feels because you didn't think she was worthy of being a cult leader. That was her whole take on everything. I'm like, are you... And then she goes and uses all these big words that she Googles right before she goes live. Stop, it doesn't make you so smart. She
I-
always does
Didn't
that.
use any big words? I don't think so. I can
She
understand her language.
tried.
That's what they're not big.
A for
Yeah,
effort.
she tried.
No, she tries. She'll come up with this term because she'll look it up right before she goes live.
Philosophizing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like read more than the bold print.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
these.
I
don't-
said, I started on here. I started not knowing nothing, and I taught
Right.
myself. I didn't even know how to turn on a YouTube. So I'm slowly but surely teaching myself. And God, I hope I never make the mistakes they do. But I couldn't do the things they do to people.
There's actually
I
like
couldn't.
that kind of comes around to a point that I wanted to talk about, and it's how we establish standards, right? Because we, as much as I've talked about what's gone on with these people, this kind of stuff can happen to anybody. I do not believe, personally, again, this is a personal belief. I don't know. I'm not in their brain. Well, I live there apparently, but that's not what I mean. I do not believe that these people sought out to specifically be the people they're being and doing the things that they're doing. Right? I don't believe that this was their starting point. This is a place where they've ended up. Right? Like they started out wanting to call out Katie Joy, looking at her content, thinking her content is problematic, and maybe they were opportunistic about it, but the intent was not to become what they're becoming or what they are, and you know that that's not the case because they can't handle the consequences. Right? That's why they're like, "Oh, I never did it, right? It's denial, or that wasn't my intention, which is again besides the point.
Doesn't
right?
matter. Yeah.
So if that's not who, like, so that means that wherever they started from, this is where they've ended up. Anybody can end up here if the person starting here isn't aware that this is even a thing that can happen to them. So how do you protect yourself, and what standards can you set for yourself to make sure that this doesn't happen to you? And there are things you can do, right? What do you,
there's
what
lines
do you
I
guys think?
won't cross. There's lines I won't. There's the things I won't do. There's lines I will not cross, no matter what. They're not worth it. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't treat people the way they do. I couldn't attack people the way they do. That's just not my cup of tea.
I think that they
I've also
believe
done
that they
that.
are being attacked in the way that they are doing to other people, right? And because this is an issue of perception, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
Go ahead, Manya.
It's
Speaking of which,
also, like,
I'm gonna pee. Enjoy my
go
chair.
pee.
Good for you.
Everyone, don't hold it in. Go for a tinkle if you want to, okay?
Hey, with my kidneys, I have to, y'all.
So, if you notice, for Megan also, from the point of view I was coming for her mental well-being, was that, is it good for her to be on internet, on the web while she is in rehab? Like she said that she's going for rehab. So that's where I come from. I come from as a concern. And that's where I draw the lines. I will not make fun of your mental well-being. I will not make fun of your kids. I will try and not make fun of your how the way you look. And I might not, but I will make fun of you if you say stupid bullshit. I'll call you bimbo if you say stupid bullshit. I hate it when people don't think what they're saying and they just blurt it out, especially accusations. Right. So yeah, and I will call you bitch. Get used to it. I will use that word. So yeah, my language is colorful.
But you're not going to go real life.
Like Chesh said. No, I have never.
You're not going to go into their real life.
Never.
Yeah.
I will never. That's not worth it. It's. Yes, please go on.
I have known who Vada is for months. Unfortunately, someone sent it to me. Did I ever share it with anybody or ever tell anybody? Absolutely not. Because it's not my place.
Yeah, I've done the same. I was able to find Vada's information quite quickly. A Google search helped me do that, but I didn't share it because I was like, that's not what we want to focus on. That's not the thing. It's a real life anyway, so we don't go there. There's no need to go there. If they don't have anything on the internet, what they're doing on the internet that you can't criticize, then and you try to go to real life, that tells me that you're full of shit. You don't have anything. So just, that should be your point. Stop. Just stop.
Well, I think there's something to point out too, is that not everybody has the same standards, right? And you can't impose your standards on somebody else, especially not without some kind of agreement or conversation with the other person. right? So there are generally societal expectations, and those are fine, and those standards are whatever they're going to be in whatever society, or different groups on the internet are going to have different standards within their own groups. But those group standards ought not circumsede your personal standards. So what you want to do is you want to have your set of principles that are yours, and keep those in mind whenever you're engaging online, right? Sorry, excuse me, I'm just gonna grab Stitching with the Sister Lies, amusing name. Asked a question, they said, yes. Oh, no, that was the question. About your standards and, like, how you sort of navigate that.
I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated, and there's things I won't talk about that's none of nobody's business. I wouldn't want someone doing it to me. So if I wouldn't want someone doing it to me, then that means that it wouldn't be okay to do to someone else either. There's just flows that you don't need to go to. Review my YouTube. Review what I say on YouTube. But there's no reason whatsoever to think about going after someone's children, their private life, their neighbors, their family. There's just no reason.
Yeah. The thing is stuff like that is generally a detraction. Like, if there... Everything that you're seeing online is curated, period. Whether or not it's curated well, or whether or not it's curated as the individual intends, doesn't matter. The intention doesn't really play into that.
Yeah.
Because some people will choose not to tidy their background. But that's a decision. They've chosen not to before they've gone live. Or if it's an edited video, all those things are in there, have to be considered and thought about. If it's scripted, it's considered, thought about, read, and then edited after the fact. These are all steps of decision-making that this creator has to make for every single thing that they put out there, right? And that's something that I think people forget. They think things are like spur of the moment. And for some people, they are. Some people are very reactionary, but that is an intention. Because that's their responsibility, right? Stitching with Sister Lies said, I would like a deep dive into the Nat stuff. Both you and Chesh, were with McCrae during the KJ Tatty stuff. Aaron is trying to spin a narrative that Nat wasn't real. I call bullshit, and more importantly, why? It's a good question. Manya, do you want to start with that one?
So, we know there was a person named Nat who came in and caused a lot of havoc. We know that because if you listen to Tari's lawyer, Michael Sauls, on Twitter, there was some prosecution that happened against that person. So that person exists. That there's no doubt about that. To say otherwise is you're just either you're trying to hide something or you want everyone to stop talking about it, which is fine. I would say the next thing is, like Chesh has also said a lot of times, she's not reliable. You cannot rely on her because of, her mental well-being issues. And then also, if you start talking about her, you always notice that it derails the topic of discussion. Always, it drags the focus away from what we were actually discussing. So why are we trying to even think about talking about that person? We shouldn't talk about this person. Leave that person alone. They're sending emails. If you think you're getting emails from them, ignore them. Ignore them. We can do that, right? We ignore spam, right? Just treat them as spam emails. Just ignore them. Because we know now, getting involved in any capacity with that person or the person who's sending emails pretending to be Nat is not beneficial at all. Unless you're trying to hide something. Then I would say, okay, you're mentioning her again and again because you want to hide something. Then I'll look at you. Still not look at them. I'll look at you.
My answer to that's a little bit different. Not because I disagree with Manya, just I have a different angle on it. Erin has a habit of saying things didn't happen or things were made up when there's video of it. On her own channel.
Yep.
Why? I don't know, because she's a fucking idiot. I cannot fathom why you would be so stupid as to say you never did a thing when there is video on your channel of you doing that thing, and then a couple of weeks later do a live stream of you showing the video that you said you never participated in. I I have no
I
answers
just-
for you. When
Okay,
it comes
I'll
when it
give us-
comes to
I'll
yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a hypothesis of
Oh.
what's going on. She
Oh
drinks water.
no.
I think so. Her memory is getting affected.
I don't
just
know
going
if
to
it's
give her that
I
cherry.
I would not put that on alcohol. I think there's other things that Aaron gets into, which is something that actually I have a
anxiety that could happen.
stress.
Yeah.
well, okay.
Yeah.
I have a separate question that I want to ask about about Megan's statements about Vada and her rehab that I want to ask if anybody's got clarification for me. But before I get into that, I just want to finish answering the question.
Megan and all this are
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
different than everyone's, and I don't think people would like what I really think about the whole Megan situation.
Sometimes
Sure.
you can keep stuff to yourself, right? Not everything has to be public. That's actually a whole nother thing I want to talk about as well. So when it comes to Nat, I have an audio recording that was confirmed
Yeah.
to be Nat. It's on the channel.
too.
It's an unlisted video.
See how different our approaches are, like how we verify shit. So
Right.
different.
It's an unlisted video. I grabbed it at the time, uploaded it as unlisted, left it as unlisted at the time, just as a way that I could verify and back up exactly why I was saying this person cannot be used as a reliable source, period, end of sentence. So bringing them up is a waste of time. Again, Manya's correct about this. You're either wasting time, you're detracting, or you're trying to bullshit something. There's no valid reason, and that's not because she's not a valid person, and it's not because they shouldn't be treated fairly. It's because that they cannot be relied upon in this space, in this situation, because of the anonymity of the internet. Those barriers make it incredibly difficult. And so it's not, again, whether or not Nat did or did not do anything wrong, whether or Nat is being groomed for this, that, or the other thing, no creator should be utilizing or bringing this up in this scenario unless they are unaware. And we know for a fact that Steve and Aaron know. They've been aware of it the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And Vada has wanted to get Nat back involved. And I know a lot of people don't think Nat's real, but Nat is real. I have had contact with Nat. She has been very upfront, very sweet, and all she's done is ask them to leave her alone because they send
Oh.
her so many emails. She has begged them to leave her alone and leave her out of this.
If
This is
they're
I have
sending her emails, I cannot express how inappropriate that is.
It's
That is
fucked up.
so inappropriate.
It's on the same
And all
lines
she's
with how
done
they
is ask
treated
them to
Charla.
leave
What
her
the
alone.
fuck?
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I know for a fact Vada
Charla has
has.
the same.
I have the
Charla,
emails.
it was the same thing.
I have the
Yeah.
emails. Nat
Oh,
sent
okay.
them to me.
Okay.
She
yeah,
just wants them to leave her alone. She
And
just
at
wants
that
to be left
point-
alone. That's all.
actually, time out, because that's actually a little bit interesting too, because even if this person is not Nat, right? If it's a different account, if that account is still able to forward Kathy emails, being like, these people keep spamming me emails because they think I'm this person, that's just as big of a problem.
Still, yeah, that's still not appropriate.
Okay,
Like,
so let's move on from that, because I like, yeah, there's a lot there, and Nat deserves to be left in peace and deserves
she's
to
out,
not
that's all
have
she's
her
out.
name. Well, she just gets, these people are just dragging her name up whenever it's convenient to obfuscate something, because the whole issue with
Yes.
Nat is because we know Nat is unreliable. So when they bring Nat up, it's only ever bringing her up conveniently, or to say that, see, this person agrees with me, or bringing her up conveniently to say, well, Nat said it, therefore it's unreliable, which is a double, like, you're just having your cake and eating it too, and fuck off, right?
Right. This whole reason.
No, you're not
we're
derailing.
doing
You're not. We're here to answer questions. This is not. You can't derail this. There are no
Yeah.
rails. We are free floating in space right now.
unless down the rabbit hole at bedtime comes in swinging and is saying, "Oh yeah, I was harassed
Mm.
and I was threatened."
No, dear Lord.
That
a
would
cease and
be-
desist is not harassment.
That would not be derailing in this stream, because this stream is about asking those types of questions. So if any of them, none of them are blocked. If any of them have questions, now would be a good time to ask.
Well, Vada's whole goal was to prove that Steve and EKC were 1000% innocent in everything, and that it was all Katie Joy and Nat. That was Vada's goal. That was what she even told
innocent
Steve
in
on
what?
panel. I'm gonna prove of being involved in any way with Nat and Katie Joy. All that stuff. And talking all that.
I think so. I made a video about that when all this thing was happening, when everybody was saying that Steve is involved with that. I did a live stream, if I'm not wrong, and where I had the same thing I had said before. I'm like, just because it's a rumor and everybody's saying doesn't make it the truth. So stop repeating what everyone else is saying just for the sakes of it, just for the content. That's the same thing that that fucking K Baxter chick did. True Ball of Wax did. Oh yeah, True Ball of Wax. How close are you to reaching the truth? Can you please tell me?
Oh god, that's some old nonsense.
Right? And I'm still addressing the point. It doesn't matter whether I'm supporting Steve or not. It's the point. You repeat bullshit all the time, and you don't redact it when you're proven wrong, or when it goes 6 months go by and you present no proof. It's time to redact it then and say, okay, I didn't find proof, so I have to redact. But I'll keep it that, okay, it is my opinion. But if you do a fucking blaster live stream where then you're whining about it that it didn't get enough views, you better come with some receipts, you asshole. Seriously.
There's a line, right, where sometimes you need to let it go. Right? So if somebody did you wrong, it's okay to be upset about it, and it's okay to not think that was fair, and it's okay to never think it was fair. Letting something go doesn't mean that you think it's suddenly okay. Right? Yeah. It means that you've come to terms with the thing that happened and where things are at. If you want to continue struggling against something forever just because you didn't get the results that you wanted, you're gonna look like you're throwing a never-ending tantrum about this one thing. Right? So if Aaron and Steve want to bring somebody new on that comes from God the fuck knows where to say that we were never involved with Nat, why?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you need to do that? All you would need to do to distance yourself from that situation is say there is a lawyer that is taking legal action against this person. Once that is completed, or when there is a result that I am able to speak on, I will speak on it. Done. And then you never have to talk about it again.
That's what I did, I think so, about K Baxter and True Ball of Wax. I think so I did maximum 2 lives about them, and after that I was done. Because they were saying new shit, so I was just like, okay, this needs to be addressed. So that's what I did. And then I was done. If you go on my channel, I have not mentioned them. My channel is dormant since then. Since we split up with Steve. I've not talked about them at all.
You post League of Legends content.
If you're doing something... Yeah, I post video game content. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous to repeat. Repeat bullshit.
Off topic here. I'm out here telling my cat, I know what you did. He just killed himself, a lizard, and I gotta hide it from my kids because we'll have to have a damn funeral and everything.
Oh no!
It's just when I live in Florida, we get them little geckos and little lizards all the time. Around the pool, and the cat he has a field day with them. But I gotta hide it before the kids. I'm not doing a funeral.
Desi makes a good point and says, at Manya, totally, Occam's razor tells me some person, Nat, got heavily involved with online bullshit and contacted Salts. If it was orchestrated, it's more complicated than the fake moon landing. The thing is that even if, so what? What does it mean? So what does it mean if Steve was in contact with Nat, and can you demonstrate anything out of that?
Yeah.
And if you can't, then move on. And if you can, then you can talk about what that may or may not mean, right? But now we're talking about what the fuck the current behavior. And the current behavior is not acceptable on its face. So...
Yeah.
you can't blame Nat for you lying to people and telling people you were swatted. Like, you know, what are you fucking talking about? Like, no.
You know, I watched
What does
your
that
video.
have to do with all that?
Yeah, she doesn't. They just, well, Vada's whole thing was with the constant emailing Nat, trying to get Nat to be, trying to be buddy, you know, trying to act like she wanted to be her friend, and she knew that she was set up, and because, you know, with Vada, everybody's set up and framed.
Wasn't Megan
but,
part of
you
those
know, she
emails
was
too?
set up by, I can send you to them. I'll send them to you.
Okay,
Nat
I'll
won't
take a
mind
look.
if I send them to you.
I'll take a look.
She, according to her, Steve was being blamed for being behind Nat. And
Okay.
yeah, Steve, but never showed anything. She's never showed one. She was working on this 3-part series that she kept talking
Yeah, I
about,
heard that.
but she never did it, which she often did stuff like that. You know, she'd show you like this 2-second clip and say, see, that's what I got done so far. And then you'd never say anything else.
So the thing is this is something that I have spoken with Steve on ad nauseum because he can't wrap his fucking brain around it. You can't control what everybody thinks about you all the time, whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
You cannot control that, and because you cannot control that, you have to accept that some people are going to be wrong about you sometimes. And you have to make peace with that. So if it means, if 1 or 2 people, no matter how large or small or they may be, say that you're involved with somebody, and you say, all you have to say is, how, where, show me. And if they can't show you, then you've dealt with it. The issue is resolved, because until they can show anything, you don't have to do anything. If you're gonna make the fucking mistake of bringing somebody on who is a rando who can supposedly prove it, what are you doing? You don't do that shit, because you don't have to. We had a tagline back at Caffeine Corner, and it was, we respond to evidence, not accusations. Anybody can say anything. It doesn't make it valid.
Yeah. Also,
waste of time.
I've noticed this about Steve a lot.
I'm drinking this beer too fast.
Steve is see, if he is self-aware or not, anyone who approaches Steve and says, oh, they have been wronged by Katie in some way, and they can come up with emails or screenshots or screenshot of messages and stuff, Steve lets them in. He lets them use his platform. He lets them on. He promotes them. And blah 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 blah. Same thing he did with Jessie. DJ Declassified did the same.
JKJ.
And he did the same thing with Vada. Yeah, JKJ. Sorry, yeah.
Actually,
JKJ Declassified, and
he did the same Vada. Thing with the same thing happened with the Non Sequitur show, because that was something that got confronted in the mod call. In the mod calls, it was like, Steve, what is your vetting process for bringing on a guest? What is your vetting process to make sure that the content going out onto the channel is actually everybody's on the same page, so we're not having dumb bullshit arguments? And he was just like, oh, fucking no. It's like, okay. Alicia's, who's been a member for 28 months, thank you so much, Alicia, said, others' opinions of you aren't always your business. That is a fact.
That is wonderful. That is so well put.
Hey, listen,
I don't.
Right? It's one of those things that it doesn't. Okay, so people are talking about Meg's sobriety and whatever's going on with that. So my question about that was, I watched the Moderate and the Megan stream from now after all, like the in between, right? Because they were all flipping out while my videos were coming out, and so I've been watching them flipping out. And one of the things that Moderate and Meg were saying was that Vada, they heftily implied that Vada was doing drugs, and Vada's drug problem was seeping into Megan's and encouraging Megan to go back to using. So, but the other person they brought up a bunch was Aaron. And if anybody knows about Aaron uses mushrooms. Aaron does drugs. And so, in what world, in this scenario, given the amount that we've heard Aaron and the amount that we've heard Megan talk about Aaron's involvement in Megan's life, in what world are we going to pretend that only Vada had any influence on Megan at all, ever? Like, that makes no fucking sense to me at all. And I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, like, So are you like that? That's another question. You're right, Shesh. Like, why is not Aaron as much as responsible as Vada? Number one, right? Why? And number two, if you have, you should have the tools to separate yourself from people if you think that they are going to make you relapse. Hanging around them is not going
Mistakes
to do you any good.
happen, right?
You need to be responsible. Mistakes
It's
happen,
easy.
but then
It's easy to get sucked in, right?
Instead of
yeah, it's
using it
easy.
to
But
jump on people's panels for the woe is me card, she should have unplugged the internet and got herself some treatment.
yes,
That's
That
my
was
opinion.
one of the things that she brought up. She brought it up in August that this shit wasn't good for her. Then she brought it up again in December that this shit wasn't good for her. And then she
December.
exploded on stream and was like, this shit isn't good for me. And then what did they do? Bring her on panel again. So like even if she's got all these issues and she's relapsing, and these people are her friends and they know this about her, they're bringing her on anyway because they do not give a shit about her problems except for that her problems are beneficial for them. That's the
yeah,
like
it's
hello.
content for them.
Well, it's not
And
just
also-
content, but an excuse to not have to address legitimate criticism.
Criticism, yeah.
Right.
Also, if it wasn't the live chat that evening that had questioned these guys, that why is Megan there? These guys would not have done anything about it. They would have let Megan stay there and just have a meltdown. They did a disservice to their audience because it's trauma dumping, and number two, they did a disservice to their friend Megan. That environment was not good for her, and they knew it was not good for her. So they are responsible for her breakdown on that live stream. And
They said that she shouldn't be there multiple times and left her and like had her still there.
Yeah.
Everyone
Take her
on
off the
that
call.
panel, everyone on that panel is responsible for that shit. Every single one of them, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. They could have easily kicked her off the call and talked to her behind in the background and say, "Listen, I'm doing this for you. I feel responsible for you. I'm your friend. I feel this is not good for you." That's what good friends do. You know, I have taken breaks from. I keep repeating this fact. I have taken breaks from internet. You know what Shasha said? It's fine. Just stay in contact with me. It doesn't have to be online on Twitter or anywhere. Just stay in contact with me so I know that you're doing okay. And I've done that. I've gone and like locked down my accounts and stuff and taken like breaks. So your friends will help you get away from from things that will contribute towards your relapse. And over here, these idiots don't know what they're doing, and they deal with people like Megan who have mental well-being issues and plus other sobriety issues, and then they enable it. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How fucked up are you guys? Seriously, you make me sick.
It's one of those situations, right, where you have people who are saying that they're in your corner and are trying to help you, but everything that they do is enabling you. Because if you care about somebody, it is very, very difficult to ride the line of caring about them and enabling them. It is not an easy line to ride, especially when you're trying to produce content. And so you have to make sure that you can identify all of these things, and you cannot just take Megan's word that she is going to be okay to do this. You can't just take her word for it. And you have to be able to like ride these lines, and you have to be able to find ways and tools to mitigate those issues. And if you aren't doing that, you're enabling them. And so by saying something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, kind of pulling this out of my ass. So I'm not saying that anybody said this, but if you're saying things like, this isn't a good stream for Megan to be on, and this is going to be and this is difficult for her, and so therefore we need to be patient with what she said or did, you're enabling whatever it was she just said or did. You're not preventing her or stopping her, you're enabling her. That's apologetics, right? You're saying whatever she just did was okay because she's in this situation currently, and therefore whoever she just did that thing to needs to be the adult in the room and just be like, I guess I just have to be treated like shit then. And that's just not
And
how that
this
works.
You
and
don't
this is
get
the
a pass.
biggest issue.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, Kathy. You don't get a pass. I never got a pass. I have anxiety. I have depression. I'm getting treatment for it. When I'm at my work, I am responsible for how I conduct myself. When my work was suffering because I was anxious and I was in depression, I took the steps to take a break, a mental well-being break, go and find help for myself so I can work to my full capacity without, making it difficult for my colleagues around me.
And you
So,
know what I didn't do? Oh, but Manya, we need you on the stream.
yeah,
No.
She said, "Go for it. Take your time."
I
off.
asked
That's
one.
fine."
I said one thing. I said one thing to Manya. One thing, and I was just like, "You don't have to interact, but don't leave the Discord if you can. If you need to, go for it. But if you don't have to leave the Discord, stay in the Discord. You don't have to interact with anybody. But if you can stay in contact that way, great." And she did, and it was fine.
Yeah. And nobody invited me around that time.
And then I didn't sit around fucking
panels,
tagging her in every fucking message on the Discord. That would have been shitty.
Yeah. I would have been like, what
At
the fuck,
end of the day,
Chesh?
for them, it's content. But
Unbelievable.
at the end of the day, they can't get above that. It's content to them. That's it. They don't. I don't think they care enough about themselves, let alone anybody else.
I cannot, in good conscience, sit around and watch the Megan and Mod call talking about Vada and throwing all of the response, because that's not fair to Vada, right? As much as I've been critical to Vada, I have not been unfair in my criticism, and my criticism will remain as fair as possible, right? So I do not think it's fair nor reasonable for all of them to just blame Vada for everything as if she's some kind of fucking god. What did she hypnotize all of you? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. If she told you to do it, and you're like, well, it was Vada's idea, you still did it. Why did you think it was a good idea? What are you talking about? That's unreasonable.
And again, if you don't know, if you don't have experience in dealing with someone...
everything that's being said is a...
Right.
So, and if you don't have experience in dealing with someone who has sobriety issues or mental well-being issues, do not indulge them if you don't know what you are doing. Do not indulge them.
Them turning quote unquote on Vada over this fucking art bullshit is
they're
convenient.
Just as bad, and it's not. They don't get it, and I don't know if they ever will.
It doesn't matter. I personally don't care if any of these people ever fucking figure this shit out. They're useful to me. Like, I think they're useful. Specifically because it shows, and I can demonstrate how you can avoid these things, how you can point these things out, how you can use these things in the future, both in your real life and in your online life. The stuff that I've been talking about is not stuff that is only applicable to whatever you're looking at online. It's applicable to the news. It's applicable to your workplace. It's applicable to your family interactions. If you've got a family member fucking doing some weird shit, you don't have to enable or encourage their weird shit. There are ways that you can recognize when someone is fucking lying to you.
Yeah.
Also, this whole art plagiarism thing was addressed by a couple of channels 5 to 6 months ago. For some reason, right now, suddenly their eyes opened up. When Jessie came in, that guy Jessie came in and just reacted to those videos that were made in the past 5 months ago. So... yeah, it's very convenient that it popped up now, that you suddenly opened your eyes right now that, yeah, it's definitely plagiarism. Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
After trying to defend it for hours.
They defended it for 5 months. They defended it for 5 months before then they were like, and then Susan was like, and I don't know what happened, why Susan decided to address it at this time and not at that time. I don't know. Might have reasons.
They needed a scapegoat.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
I am no longer. I have been so nice and charitable towards Susan's actions and behaviors. At this point, I have no charity left for her. I do not believe for a second that this wasn't the most convenient shit on the fucking planet.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
the title
deliberate
talks video.
time. They
Well, she chose. Suzanne said she chose not to look at it. She quote unquote finally caved and went to look. And it's like, really? Did you happen to you conveniently finally caved now? Now of all times, you finally chose to cave. That's awfully convenient now when you might be looking for this whole group is looking for a chance to get rid of this bitch. Wow, awfully convenient, funny thing that as they're all blowing smoke up Suzanne's ass about her art in the comments section. Fuck off.
Yeah.
and surprisingly,
Come on.
there is so many that are like giving all these other ones a pass, saying, "Oh yeah, beta." No, it wasn't just beta. She's not smart enough nor strong enough to do that all on her own. Y'all were all just as guilty. So now you
They
can throw her
enabled
under
her.
the bus. Yeah. So now they can use her as their scapegoat because they've always laid the groundwork. Stephen EKC would even say, Vada took the lead. Vada did all that on her own. Good work, Vada. They would make it a point to say it that way. But Vada took the lead. Vada did it all on her own. No, she didn't. Y'all were right there with her.
Remember a little bit ago when I said everything, every piece of content that goes out on the internet has to be intentional. All of it. It's all intentional. Which does not mean that they're necessarily conspiring this ready to go, but it does mean that it is in fact intentional. Suzanne chose when she decided to go and look into this.
Yeah.
Suzanne chose when and how she decided to address it and put it publicly on her channel. That was all premeditated. It has to.
She chose to remain silent for 5 months for some reason.
Yeah.
Or chose not to look at it for 5 months.
They shot all of us down over that. Well, they shot us all down. Oh, they're lying. No, and EKC still has the videos up saying that they did the artwork and we were all wrong and lying. And, it's like, what? And Jesse's such a tiny channel. Why does it matter anyway? He's just as tiny as I am. He's mostly a gamer. I mean, he tried me once and it didn't work. So, for Molly.
Jesse?
And he ended up having to apologize to me because of Molly. And then,
I saw
Jesse.
Jesse.
With conspiracy if I don't if I am not wrong, and yeah.
I am a little bit enjoying that Jesse has learned fucking nothing from this Veda situation, because I saw him comment on Aaron trying to bring up the fucking NSS stuff. And Jesse's comment said, if I'm remembering correctly, and I can double check it if you guys want, but it said, "Oh, I heard about this from Steve. That was fucked up." And I'm like, so
really?
You heard about it from Steve. You didn't look at the moderation chat. You didn't look at the mediation chat. You took Steve's word for it. As, because you get along with Steve. And this is part of the problem. I am convinced that these people do not understand the difference between agreeing and giving your friend or your group of friends the benefit of the doubt amongst your group of friends versus giving your friends the benefit of the doubt and then making public statements about it. You didn't.
Hey,
I'm giving Jesse the charity in assuming that he did
I'm
not watch these things. That's charity. No. If I assume he didn't watch them, at least it means that he kind of did this without really thinking about it. And without actually looking into it. Okay. If he looked into it, it means that he knows what went on, knows what Steve told him is bullshit, and is going along with it anyway. Which is a whole nother fucking group of shit.
Jessie asks if you haven't watched anything around what Steve told you, ask Steve one question. Hey, what happened to that GoFundMe investigation against Mania for fraud? Just ask him that question. What happened with that? Nothing. How many?
I also
second year now?
I also struggle with the idea that people like Porkchop pointed out, they take advantage of people like Jesse. What about Jesse makes him easier to take advantage of than anybody else? I'm curious to know. Is there something that Jesse has going on that makes
he wants to
some
come back
people
in the
just
community?
are easier to manipulate. Some people are
sure. I agree with that.
There's people that actually that can read people, and well, that's going to be an easy mark.
Oh, absolutely. But is there something about Jesse that makes him specifically an easy mark? I'm just saying because I don't know.
He has a
It's
history
usually, I've
of
noticed
being
it's the same kind
deceptive.
of women.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Molly Golightly, Vada, the loud mouths with the big boobs in your face all the time, the loud mouths, do nothing but tear people down and lie. I've noticed that. That's kind of like a pattern.
I'm seeing that Jessie is a Roadhog mod. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, no. But what
Oh,
I am aware of is that Jesse
okay.
had a history with Teespiracy, and Teespiracy I think so debunked him at one point, and because of that he decided to take a break from internet. And I think so he has a desire to come into this anti-KJ fold again. That's why he's being very, very charitable to this group, because he has an invested interest. That's my personal opinion. It's personal opinion. I don't know. Because he went out when Teespiracy was dealing with him with a bang. Let's just say.
Oh,
So
okay.
Teespiracy kicked him the fuck out. Like he tried to pull up this shtick that he has a twin brother and blah 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 blah, and everybody was like, "Nah, we are not believing you." So yeah, I
What?
do keep an eye out on people. You know what what's that called? Doing your own research, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how I know where Jesse came from. So
So
yeah,
we've
my
we've
boy.
So
got
Jesse and
we've
Conspiracy had a thing at one time. I didn't know
oh
that.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite sure you can go to Teespiracy's channel and see her covering Jesse's bullshit at that time.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
saying
check
that he
that out.
didn't.
Even if you
I'm not
had
even
a
saying
twin, why would it matter? Like, why are you even
Yeah,
bringing it
that would.
up? Like,
dump it
what
Yeah,
on
the
them.
fuck?
Whatever he did.
I don't.
It wasn't me. It was
What
my
the
twin.
fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like they have a history, and okay, I even if we ignore that history, Jesse did go on a break, and now they are back. And then I think so they have been trying to come back into this anti-KJ fold for some time, and I think so that's why they are very, very charitable. I think so
Mm,
he tried, but then he saw the number of people who were supporting Veda. That's why he backtracked. He was like, they're not listening to me at this point. But then
mm.
the timing happened that they needed a scapegoat, so they went ahead with all this. So Jesse's fine with
Well,
it now
Mongo
because he's been
Lightly was kind
vindicated in a
of
way.
behind Veda getting the support from some like Jesse and stuff.
Mm.
Because Molly Lightly's the one that brought Veda in.
Oh
That's
God,
so bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
She
why
was
we
there's
don't
a
know
Molly.
about this
lot of
bullshit.
Molly
There's
was
so
her
much bullshit.
mentor.
it's a
Yeah,
lot of things are
Molly was her mentor. Seriously,
um
she acts just like Molly. Actually, she goes actually above worse, and I never thought I'd say this, but she actually will go even lower than Molly's lows. But
that's actually
that
an
was her mentor for
interesting
YouTube.
that's an interesting phrase that you guys were talking about while I was walked away. And it's this idea of quote unquote going real life. And
Yeah.
so the problem that can come with phrases like that is they're not well defined. And so because they're not well defined, you can kind of try to gray that line about what counts as real and not real life. So I saw people criticizing Aaron for going real life on me for looking at Red's video that was on Steve's channel. I personally wouldn't consider that going real life. It is a publicly available video on Steve's channel. I do find it hilarious that they had to go far enough to go find an ex because Reds and I dated, which is the real life quote unquote part, right? But I think Aaron is totally in within the realm of online bullshit to talk about that video. Do I think it was good optics? No. Do I think it was fucking stupid? Yes, because it is still just Reds running Steve's rhetoric for him on Steve's channel, but it doesn't I wouldn't personally consider that quote unquote real life. And so you have this not very well defined idea of and I think what the idea is supposed to be, and Kathy, you can correct me here or elaborate for me here, is that going real life means that you're not necessarily whether or not it's online, it's whether or not it's getting personal. And is that a little bit more accurate?
It to me, going real life is making these fake CPS calls.
Yes, I would agree with
Purposely
that.
going and looking up family members and reaching out to family members and friends, or posting people's pictures of their kids that's just a place I don't think anybody should be going. Or going after someone's job.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, no, I would
that's
agree with that. I think that there's
I
like
just
this line of like what would be considered quote unquote harassment. When you take whatever is happening between people in the online space and start utilizing that to try and affect in a negative way their real life endeavors, or like their in-person endeavors, which might be a bit more accurate. So like if because like is it quote unquote real life to find out that somebody is a teacher and that they don't have enough school supplies, and then making a GoFundMe and then making a bunch of content around it and sending them the money? Would that count? Or is it only like going real life with somebody means that you're harassing them when they're making a generalized statement, and then you're taking that statement and trying to use that to get them fired from, like, say they're a teacher, right?
Right. Being malicious with malicious intent to actually cause harm to somebody over YouTube stuff off of YouTube where you have no business going. Keep it on YouTube. What does it matter who my relatives are? What does it matter who my boss is? What's it to you? Who the hell are you to call CPS or even call and have a frivolous welfare check done? Being in the system as a foster parent, I've seen so much of that crap, and it wastes so much time. And at the end of the day, it's the kids who suffer when they have to be strip searched.
Well, I think that I think
people.
One of the things has to be is that it's an illegitimate attack. It's malicious and illegitimate, because there could be very real reasons why you might call CPS on a YouTuber. That's happened in the past, and there are very much like channels that have profited off of the exploitation of their children, right? And CPS has been called in the past, so there are definitely legitimate reasons to contact authorities based on something that's happening online, or contact somebody's job as long as you're following those proper channels. Like, so there's a valid reason for, say, Charlotte, for example, to go to the authorities and go the legal route for what was happening to her, and so that wouldn't be considered going real life. But going real life would be somebody going through Facebook and going through and trying to find somebody's fucking family to try to bring them on to fucking spur bullshit. Okay.
Calling people's exes and getting them to come on panel, and for what? What purpose?
Oh, they're trying to show the patterns of behavior. Like, bullshit. Bullshit.
It shouldn't be that hard. This is the thing, and this is my thing with, like, Aaron's video and, like, Farron's attempts at responses and Vada's videos. They don't show anything. If you want to show somebody lying, you have to show the things they said. You can't pull somebody else saying something about them. You have to pull their video. There's a reason why I didn't play Tiger Talk's full video. I just showed the visual points that I'm like, look at these visual points. And then said whatever I had to say about it, and then looked at what Vada was saying. There's no value in me just go watch Tiger or Burnt Toast's videos then. If I just replay their video, I'm not fucking doing anything.
I think one of the worst things for Vada is, instead of when you're called out and it's proven, instead of doubling and tripling down, how about just standing your shit and own a little bit of it? Make things a lot easier.
Yeah, it like the thing is with that is I can kind of understand the position she's put in that case, because when you get caught plagiarizing that blatantly, you're fucked. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to something like art. Yeah, you're boned. You're totally boned.
You're gone. Academically, you're not getting in unless you for like 2 to 3 years or something. Or if you're an exceptional student, maybe. But yeah, if you're academically, if you plagiarize, yeah, you're getting a fail grade, and you're thrown out of that course.
Yeah, if you just get caught out lying, people might not care that much. Or people won't care enough to understand the ramifications of that, and you can get away with it. But if you get caught plagiarizing, like straight up stealing somebody else's work, you're kind of boned. Kind of boned.
And also, like, before people start, like,
owning it won't help.
Jammer.
There's nothing that helps you. Basically, what I'm getting at is that, like, even if you try to lie, double down and lie about it, or you own it, you're boned either way. There is no winning.
Either way.
You may as
Yeah.
well just delete the fact that it ever happened and pretend like it didn't happen, which people did assist her with for months,
4 months, yeah.
or just remove your existence and start again as a new avatar. Like, just get a new name, move to a different part of the internet. Because that's
Use
something
a
I think
voice
these
changer.
people... That is something I don't think these people understand, is that not only does the internet doesn't forget shit, but also, the internet is fucking huge. It's fucking huge. Like, there's
great for
so many
everyone,
people
yeah.
from all over the place talking about a billion different topics. And so, like, it's massive. It's a massive space.
And
With the whole art
let me
thing,
just add
one of
to-
her best
Go on, Kathy.
with the art thing, one of her best things one of her best comebacks was she had sold paintings for 600 and more at this site,
Yeah,
and I
I
did
heard that,
go
and I was
to
like,
the site,
what?
but yeah, she's never sold a painting there. I went to the site, I did my homework, but besides that, then she turned right around and took it out of her so-called storage to show everybody now that, mind you, this is the painting she just sold for $600.
So she made multiple
she-
copies, is it?
Well, no, not according to her.
Oh, okay.
She had it in
I think so.
storage,
She
but
brags. She brags so much that she forgets that people. This is the internet. People can verify shit. Like what? Yeah, like yeah. And also before people start harping, like, oh, why are you saying that Susan's timing is sus? I am going by their own logic. With their own logic that they went after Charla. Oh, the timing is sus now that KJ is coming in now and they're sharing a lawyer. There are no coincidences. So I'm playing your game. There are no coincidences. So Susan making this video now, 5 months into this whole thing. Yeah, it's sus. The timing is sus.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very.
I'm playing your game. Don't come and try and blame me for like putting intentions on Susan's actions. So yeah.
and what they don't, what these, I guess they're called, they call themselves caters. What they don't get is they've actually helped Katie's channel grow. They did.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They've actually helped her. They've not hindered her. They've actually helped her.
Yeah, that's a concept called it's called monetizing your haters. And Katie's done a very good job of this. But the reason Katie's done a very good job of this is because they fucking suck at it. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. The Katie Joy is like low-hanging fruit. I haven't watched a Katie Joy video in fucking years. I bet you any money I can pull one up right now and talk about all the problems that are in it. It'll take me a matter of moments. And like, not everybody's gonna have like the same capabilities, right? Not everybody's gonna be practiced in the direction that I'm practicing. But it's exactly the problem I said before, and it's the same problem that the people who hated Steve had. You can't pick on every single fucking thing. It's not effective. It's not that those things don't deserve to be picked on. It's not even necessarily that you're wrong, or that they're right. It's about you need to make sure you pick the right things that matter, because if you put her, like, taking advantage of the death of somebody at the same level of she bought a cereal dispenser, you have nowhere to go. Nobody's gonna take you seriously.
That only dilutes the issue again and focuses away, deflects from the actual issue that there is.
I do not.
Has a
Honestly,
serial
mentally,
dispenser.
I don't think Steve and EKC could have everyday life without Katie Joy being in their life, without some kind of help. I mean, they are so far into her. I don't think they can let go without help.
No, they can't.
No, they're too. They've tied themselves too tightly together, and they've tied their content too much to one person. There's a reason why I don't make content about a singular thing. I can't deal with that. I get bored. I get bored too fast. I can't keep talking about the same shit because you end up talking in circles and you're just saying the same thing over and over and over again. There's a reason why I only do a Vic Mignogna video once in a while when he does something goofy. And it's because otherwise I would just be saying the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And why? Like, I don't need to. There's a reason I don't make new Katie Joy content. I don't need to. One of my biggest videos on this channel is an interview that I did with a lady who was from a Facebook group from before she was even on Pathos. And every so often, the reason that video is so popular is because every so often, or has the most views on it, is because every so often, something happens with KJ, everybody fucking goes looking at KJ shit, and they find that video, and it gets a bump, and it gets a bump, and it gets a bump, right? And so, because I don't need to keep talking about it, the video is there, and people find it.
There's a reason why on our unnamed cabin we don't talk about Elon Musk all the time. We don't talk about cryptocurrency all the time. It's because we will only talk about them when something new pops up in the news. That's how you do it. Sorry, Kathy, go on, please.
No, I was listening to you. You're actually making valid points.
It's about, like, how you process content and what your goals are. Their goal isn't to debunk Katie Joy. Their goal isn't to protect anybody, like they like to tell people it is. If their goal was to protect... Right. Go ahead. You got it.
Review her content then, because I don't see anybody doing that. Granted, she's boring as hell. I couldn't do it. I can't watch her. But, review her content. Review what she's putting out that is so bad. Point out, show what she's saying that's wrong, and show what it is. They don't do that. It's all about, she's got all these victims.
Well, that was something that Renell brought up, right? Renell brought up that you have to spend 2 years studying Katie Joy to understand everything she's done to literally everybody. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. Why? You should not have to spend 2 years.
You have a degree, Renell?
She has a degree in Katie Joy.
Yeah, like you did a master's or a PhD, research master's or PhD, where you wrote a thesis or a report. Like, what the fuck was that? I was like, what? And then she was like, ad hominems against nonsense all the time. Oh, you're unhinged. Why is Steve so much in your brains? I don't know, Renell. Why is Katie Joy in Steve's brains all the time?
I don't know. Why is Steve in your brains, Renell? All the time. She got so mad that I told her to take Steve's dick out of her ass. So mad. So salty. I mean, I get it. I get it that it's crass and you don't like that, which is really odd to be covering somebody like Katie Joy and then be like, but I don't like things that are crass, when the accusations on Katie Joy is that she's, like, weaponizing children and dead people. I feel like maybe me saying dick and ass should probably not be that big of a deal.
Oh my god, you told her to take Steve's dick out of her ass. Yeah.
I mean, she's the one who said she was there for Steve. She said that.
Oh yeah. What is with these women and him? I mean, I was seeing comments in a chat the other day. They actually were calling him Daddy.
Ew.
I'm like, what?
What?
Daddy Steve. Daddy Steve!
No.
Daddy Steve.
I don't think so. I ever called it. No.
Don't use your big logic brain on me. Ooh, no, Yamate.
There's only one daddy in Chesh's Discord, and that's Daddy Mania. There's only one daddy out there. That's me. And that's only in Chesh's Discord. I don't make claims. I don't know. So
they get really upset over the most amusing shit. Right, because Renell showed up in the side chat. And that was one of the funnier things about it, right? So like, the premiere's going. I tell her, right? I tell her in stream, like in the premiere, I'm like, maybe Renell take Steve's dick out of your ass and then take a look at actually, like, from an unbiased point of view. And then generic minority in the in the live chat from when the video was live said that, oh, well, no, you used crass language, you can't do that, sarcastically.
Oh, really?
Making the joke that Renell's not gonna address anything that was said because of my language, rather than actually addressing the issues. And then, after that part played in the premiere, in the side chat, Renell was like, wow, that's so classy! Whoosh! Like the point right over her head.
Is this
Brilliant.
classic now?
Meanwhile, I'm like.
Pointing
Meanwhile,
will help you focus on the subject of the matter. Will this finger pointing will help you?
Meanwhile, I'm in the side chat. Half the chat responded with her like, "Ma'am, this is a Wendy's," and I'm like, "Ma'am, I am a goblin." What were you expecting? Have you actually, Kathy? Have you been in contact with any of these people in like a one-on-one scenario? Like, have you ever spoken one-on-one with like Aaron or Renell or anybody?
I commented to Erin, and her response I told you was that she was good with the decision she made with her channel, and yeah, no, that's the extent of it. I've never spoken to Megan in any way. Never. I don't know why she has so much to say about me, because I never spoke to the girl. Or that Nikki, and I don't give Nikki a pass like everybody's doing right now. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Nah, neither do I.
I still
have
see
no
her in
chattery for
comments
her.
that sticking with the same things. So,
yeah.
okay, whatever.
Do you want to show that,
No.
Chesh, that you found? It's a very good segue to go in and show those like comments that we saw.
Oh, Nikki's comments from today?
Yeah.
You can't talk to Vada because right away she goes to calling names, putting you down, threatening you, saying she's going to choke you, telling me I belong in a nursing home. Yeah,
Vada can
you
try,
can't talk
but
to
I'm just
someone
gonna
showing
sit
the
on her
sword.
head and she's gonna just crush her skull. That's all gonna happen.
Can I go a different?
to-
Can I go a
I'm gonna
different
sit on
direction and go with the idea that somebody whose name is very close to Vader is going to choke you from a distance?
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun,
That's got me living in
dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god.
It's like her mass
Kathy must be
flagging of
like,
my
oh my
channel.
god, what did I get myself into?
And now
What
I'm
do you
actually enjoying
mean?
myself.
I'm glad. That's what we want.
Welcome to the shit
here we
show.
go.
Yeah, what up?
Oh
It's
my
us,
goodness.
ya boy. So we've got a couple of these. I'm gonna pull all three of them up and then we can look at them. This is from what, today?
I'm gonna get my
today,
iPad
like within 24 hours, I think so.
so that I can pull them up and actually read them because my phone is.
Yeah, no worries. We're gonna read them out loud as well, so don't worry too much. Okay. So this is Nikki saying so this is under Aaron's stream, right? About non sequitur show.
Yep.
And
yep.
Okay, so Nikki had responded saying they are both nasty trolls, cruel to the bone, meaning me and Manya. And then this person named Panda is Sleeping responded with, because they criticized you, you have done nothing till now to demonstrate you are really apologetic about how you've behaved when you were with Vada. Would you guys agree with that? Do you guys think that Nikki has done anything that would demonstrate her either remorse for her behavior, or that she is trying to rectify it, or is trying to make things right? Chat, what do you think?
No.
Nikki doesn't understand copyright. She watches almost full videos on her lives. If AJ did that, they would be tweeting at YouTube. I do agree to one of those things. We're trolls. Oh, no, we're goblins. We're not trolls. How dare you?
There's a difference. I take offense to that. That's racism.
That's funny because Manya was barely mentioned in the video. Yeah, you really didn't come up very much at all. And it wasn't really demonstrating that me and you were terrible. It was just talking about old shit barely, and it was so fucking haphazard.
Yeah, and it was very, very convenient for Aaron to not mention that all the mods left Steve with Chesh.
Yeah.
All his mods left. Maybe 1 or 2 people were left behind. Rest, around 6 to 7 people, they left. So
most of the
Erin,
people who
how
didn't
about
leave at
bringing
that time
up?
most of the people who hadn't left at that point have left by now as well. Because there were a couple people
I
that
think so.
were
Yeah.
kicking around too, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So
there were also a handful of people that had, like, quote unquote left Steve but didn't leave because they wanted to see what was
yeah.
going, like, they wanted to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also do enjoy that in Erin's video, if you look at the comment section, not a single one of those people that are agreeing with her were there at the time. They're
Erin, why
all
did you hide
newer
the live
people.
chat?
They're
What,
all
what,
newer
what is
people, and none of them are even. Oh, so once upon a time, in a land long, long ago, there was a stream that happened where Steve and a handful of other people had a laughing, roaring good time about how Unirock lost all of his fucking mods, like Moderate Extremist, because he crossed some lines and went too far, and they were like, this guy's a piece of shit, fuck this guy. It's really convenient that when that happens to Steve, nobody cares. Now suddenly it's not a big deal.
double standards? Someone? All right. So, what's Nikki's response?
So Nikki said, saying
Erin.
I'm dumb and can't tell time and making fun of me is not criticism. That's not entirely true. That's not an entirely true
No.
statement. Sometimes making fun of you is the criticism. But
Yeah.
that's okay. Because not all criticism needs to be constructive, right? Like, constructive criticism is great. But saying somebody saying, this sucks, is still criticism. Whether it's valid or not is a different conversation. Yeah. They make videos in me.
No, thank you, Farron. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Hi, hello,
I
this
won't
is
even
Chesh here. I am
refer-
currently broadcasting from inside of Baron's intestines.
Siggy!
It's really shitty. But no?
Siggy,
No?
Siggy, did you misclick or something?
I'm gonna see
Or
myself
dislike?
out.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, we gotta let that roll. We gotta let that roll.
Siggy, did you misclick, man? Please, don't tell me you misclicked. I'll help you.
Well,
with
everybody,
money if you
enjoy your
misclick.
all 50 of you enjoy your memberships. Jesus Christ.
Siggy, oh my god. Get
Ziggy, who's
me
been a
back
member
and
for
get Oprah's back.
Oprah's back. You get a membership, and you get a membership, and you get a membership. Oh my
Hey,
god.
we were passing
Oh
out
God.
lawsuits the other day. I think I'll take the membership over the lawsuit. we were saying, hey, you get a lawsuit, you get a strike, you get it, because everybody was striking everybody and suing everybody. So we were just passing them all out.
Hi, Remy. Welcome. Or Rem. Oh, it's still going. It's okay. We'll wait.
Still going.
It's gonna take a while. What's gonna happen is it's gonna go, it's gonna stop, it's gonna load more, it's gonna go, it's gonna stop, and it's gonna load more. Thank you very much, Siggy. I very, very, very much appreciate it.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness.
So, okay.
That's very kind of you.
They make videos in me and lie and bully anyone who does not agree with them. I'm not a monster, and I made a mistake and apologize. That's it, I'm done. Making a mistake,
Really?
acknowledging you made the mistake, and apologizing for it is not necessarily something that's going to be satisfying for the viewers or satisfying for your critics. My question
I never got an apology.
You never got an apology? What do you mean?
No. I mean,
Siggy also for 666
Yeah.
said, in the spirit of the season,
Oh my
happy
God,
holidays,
666.
stay pagan, and hail Sagan. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Some positions are only warranting of ridicule. That's fair as well.
Yeah. Like flat Earth.
Yeah, there's no, yeah, some things are ridiculous on their face, and you don't really need to do much.
Anti-wax.
Yeah. Anti-vax stuff is pretty easy.
Farron.
There are some, it's very easy to talk about things where you can mathematically demonstrate the case, right? You can use, for anti-vax, you can use germ theory as well as, like, just numbers. For, like, polio, right? You can also, like, for flat earth, you can show math, you can show numbers. It gets more difficult when you want to try to prove someone is lying. That's a little bit more difficult because there isn't a mathematical equation to be like this x plus y equals lie, right? You can set a standard and be like, this is what lying is. This is how you reach within these standards. Now I'm going to show you this, and this is why it's a lie. But is lying always wrong? And I would say no. I think there are absolutely times where lying is absolutely 100% acceptable. If you're gay and you're in an incredibly, like, religious house and that house is going to, like, kick you the fuck out or worse, lie. Fucking lie. I think you're well within your rights to protect yourself.
I would call that little white lies that you need to do you just need to do sometimes. That's what my mom would say. She would say, them the little white lies that you just are they're sometimes a necessity.
A little white lie you do to survive. Right? Like, these are acceptable. If you're in an abusive household and you come home late, and if you say that you were actually just out because you lost track of time, or actually I was out because of some other reason, and you have to lie to not get the shit kicked out of you, fucking lie. But these are totally reasonable and acceptable things to lie about, right? Hiding Jews in the attic during World War II. Yeah, absolutely. Lie. Fucking lie. Do it. In fact, you're morally a bad person if you didn't.
Do it. Yeah.
But, like, just making a mistake and apologizing for it, you need to make it right. What are you gonna do? Her content is all still up. How is anybody supposed to believe that you're actually sorry if all your content that's setting out all these lies is still there? Right, why? Sorry she got caught.
Yeah, exactly, because you're still going into chat saying, well, I know she did this and know she did that. When you were just in the chat 10 minutes ago saying, I'm sorry, I know you didn't do it.
Oh, you wait.
You want me to...
Oh, you wait.
I'm not giving you a pass.
Oh, wait. It
gets better. I have watched their live stream and they have called you dumb. It's because you enabled a vile person like Vada and discarded her in the moment you realized people were asking you about your behavior with her. How you enabled everyone around you by giving them a platform to harass Charla. If you are so fragile that instead of listening and responding to criticism, you are going to focus on someone calling you dumb, then YouTube and internet is not the place for you. She responds and says, how do you figure that? Because you're fragile. They explained that. Reading. It's okay. Me and Vada may have known each other for 2 years, but we have gotten close recently. Like, still ongoing?
Was it because of Daddy Steve? Was it because of Daddy Steve? All right, sisters coming together.
Yeah.
That was fucked up. I'm sorry.
And I don't believe the 2 year thing either. But okay. Math don't math for them. They're not good.
Are you saying that? Are you making fun of her for not knowing what time is? Didn't you read what she just said? I can't tell time.
That sounds like a her problem.
The only time I remember talking about that she doesn't understand time was when she was telling Alice to go to bed because it was 10 p.m. in Canada. Oh. And I was like, Canada has more than one time zone? But
Farron mommy telling of the kids.
Which is something that was like a running joke on 60 Seconds, right? There was an old TV show that was like, things Americans don't know about Canada, and they had Americans like congratulating Canada on getting their second time zone. Or their second area code. And it was just like, I can understand an ignorant American not understanding that Canada has time zones. Okay, Farron's from Canada!
Right? Fucking Canadian and still got it wrong.
What? Me and Vada, blah, blah, blah. I can't enable someone when I believe them. Yes, you can. You can believe that Megan has, you can believe that Megan has a drug issue and enable her in her issues. In fact, it's easier to enable someone if you are on their side. This is stupid.
Nikki,
stop being stupid.
Thinking. You don't thunk what thunking is, I think. I thunk.
Think thunk. Think tonk.
Yeah. And this was because someone mistyped think as thunk, okay? It's not my dentures.
I discarded her. Why are you putting discarded in quotes as if you haven't? Are you still talking to Veda in the background? Are you publicly fucking with her and then in private trying to placate her to say that you're not? You're gaslighting her. Is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Cause
I've
you
been
know.
Brittany, run. Dun, 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 dun.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
where are
Jessie is
you
like,
running
what
to?
the hell is going
Where are you running to? Veda, come be with me. Come be a better person than you.
No thanks. That's the train I'm not riding.
Right? Yeah.
on? Nah, no
I've,
thanks.
Okay.
I've got 2 kids. I don't need no more.
Kathy P, how dare you criticize me on my own stream? You monster.
Oh no.
You can have her. You got. I think you need a new BFF. I think you could always add a new one to your circle, and I think you two would be fantastic together.
I discarded her because of her lies. I'm the one who did a live and spoke out. No one else did. I have morals, and getting rid of her as my friend was one of them. Is that Nikki calling out Aaron for not disassociating right away?
We've been calling her lies out for a year. Where you been?
Nobody else. No,
No,
literally, I dribbled beer on myself. Literally, nobody else has ever called Vada out. Literally, ever. I don't know what you're talking about. It's never happened. Fake news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I got some videos I need to take down then.
Shit.
God.
Especially the dumping, the taking the dump in the cemetery.
What the fuck?
I couldn't help myself. She wouldn't quit talking about it. I couldn't help myself.
I am not gonna lie. Veda has like all of the telltale lol cow checkboxes. Like this is you check all of these checkboxes. The problem with like the reason why like Aaron and Farron won't live in that space is because they're not entertaining enough. Right? Like you can watch Veda and it's just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like what is happening? What am I listening to?
What is happening?
But you don't get that with like Maud and Megan, and you don't get that with Aaron, and you don't get that with fucking Farron. They do not have that like that trashy quality that Veda has, which she could use to her advantage if she so desired.
Yeah, she could.
But no, she could have did something more than. But she came out the gate right from day one, thinking she was Molly's savior, EKC savior, Steve's savior, everybody's savior.
Save us from Katie Joy.
Yeah.
Actually, question. Kathy, when it comes to Steve's lawsuit about like his defamation case, how familiar are you with that situation?
With the one that's going on now?
No, so Katie got like filed a TRO against Steve.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then for okay. For months, Steve was trying to explain the difference between an RO and a TRO.
Yeah. That was dope. There was never no defamation though. That you want to talk about a scam?
Yeah.
So, Chesh, I can give a TLDR. Yeah, that was definitely, because the thing is that they set a standard themselves. When anytime a GoFundMe or any fundraiser was questioned, they would refund the money. But for some reason, Steve didn't go through with his defamation lawsuit and didn't feel the need to refund the money. And when someone did obtain refunds because they thought that Steve hasn't used the funds where they're supposed to be used, he goes after them and spreads lies about them. That's what he does. I got my refunds, and he accused me of fraud.
Yeah, so
Right.
okay.
Distraction away from what he actually did. They're good at that. That's what they do. They throw in all this as distractions away from what they've actually done. There never was going to be a lawsuit. Steve knew that. Steve didn't have a case.
It's.
I think he had some chance. He had some chance, but he needed a good lawyer for that.
He needed a good lawyer. He also needed a.
He shut up.
He ran in there. There's a couple of problems, right? There's a couple of bars that he had to jump, like high bars, right? So specifically with defamation, Katie Joy and him both being public figures. And that's something I got wrong back in the day because Steve was so adamant about not being a public figure. I was just like, he doesn't really make enough he's not a big enough creator. Does he count as a public figure? Does he not count as a public figure? I didn't think he would. I went and looked into it more recently, and it's like, no. You hit publish, you made yourself public, you're a public figure, fuck off. And it's like, yeah, no, fair enough, and I'll own that. I was wrong about that at the time. But when it comes to like his defamation case, he would have needed, like, think about how much money we know for a fact Charla has spent, right? We know for a fact that, and these are just for ROs. These aren't for defamation cases. That's assuming she doesn't go for defamation, which she probably could, realistically. But the amount that she would have to dish out, right? So the amount of money that Steve would have to dish out when he made his GoFundMe said, like, I think $40,000, I think is what he said the amount would be. And that he was going to get a job to pay for it and yada, 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 yada. Yeah. But then he got a job, but he never did it. Right? He didn't put the money towards that. He didn't put the money towards this. He didn't do this, that, or the other thing. Right?
And it wasn't even about that, like, that he didn't do it. The thing was that he kept lying to us that he will do it.
Well, he lied to us about fucking JKJ, too. So everybody and their fucking mother that was part of the Non Sequitur show at that time, when Non Sequitur was happening, told Steve that he needed to fucking pump the brakes on dealing with JKJ because she wasn't well, there was shit going on with her, and again, that doesn't invalidate her as a person, but it does mean that you have to handle with kids' gloves. And we are like, we cannot be bringing her on to shows because she is not okay. Capable. And so what did we do? We didn't unlike what these people did with Megan, when we knew she was not okay, we did not start pulling her onto fucking panels. We didn't pull her onto fucking shows. And so when we told Steve, everybody and their fucking mother told Steve to not fucking engage on this level with this individual, he said, yeah, okay, I won't. Stop pulling her onto panels, but was getting fucking sexually explicit content from her behind everyone's back. Like, what the fuck?
Admitted in an online interview that he did. And so yeah, it's Steve lied to us. Sorry, Kathy, go.
That's the hard part for me, is, to me, that was scamming people because he continued to lie to get money that he wasn't using for the purpose that it was being donated.
Right.
He gave excuses. Well, it has to pay for gas, it has to pay for food. No, the money was for legal fees.
Right.
And
also, not reimbursement, specifically because reimbursement in that capacity is not allowed on GoFundMe. Reimbursement is specifically not is against GoFundMe's terms of service.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, and the thing is that if he had just come out honestly and said, listen, guys, I don't think so the GoFundMe is, catching up, I'm not able to get the money that I'm supposed to go ahead and file it. I don't think so I can go ahead with it, and then, let it go, and then refunded the GoFundMe money to everyone because he couldn't pursue the case, everyone would have been fine. They was like, okay, that's an honest thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But he kept lying to us. everyone kept asking him, Chesh, you asked him on a live stream, like,
Yep.
when are you going to file your defamation lawsuit, because I want to cover it on my channel. And he was like,
Yep.
That's what he was doing. And
If
that
everybody,
really pissed me off.
if people think that the only reason we stopped hanging out with Steve is because he fucked me over in this very particular way, they are
There were
wrong.
many reasons that
there was lots of shit that led up to and went to moving forward.
He
There was
stopped
a
talking
lot.
to the mods. He stopped communicating with the mods. And during the live stream, we saw him treating Chesh like horribly. And then he lied about the GoFundMe. Yeah, there was, and then he was like indulging like people like Jessie in the background, while on our faces he lied and said, okay, I'm not going to interact with her.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
there were several reasons, and we were just like, this is not fair. This needs to stop. And he didn't listen to us. He treated us like we didn't know what we were talking about. He treated
Yep.
and we were like, okay, cool, you are on your own now.
People think that the reason I separated from Steve is because I was getting personally fucked over. And the answer is that mod call would not have happened if I did not intervene. Right?
Yeah.
So the way that went down is that people were coming to me being like, this is going on with Steve, that's going on with Steve. I was live with Steve, questioning him and being like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he came to me, was being weird. And then I was like, okay, well, clearly we need to have like a call about this. And so let's talk about it. And what Steve told me was, okay, let's bring Kano on. And Kano at the time was a mod. And my immediate response, because my brain went, bing, no. Why do you want to bring Why do you want to bring the mods into this? And he's like, well, yeah, let's have a discussion in the Discord about it. And I'm like, if Steve was not being weird and sussy, I would have told him that was a terrible idea. But because he had been being weird and sussy for months, I shouldn't say months, for a while up to that point, I was like, okay, yeah, let's have a conversation with all the mods. Let's bring all the mods into this. This is gonna be great. They want to talk to you anyway. And so,
like, what the fuck, Steve?
If I had been like behind Steve, no matter what he did, because that's like what Aaron wants to say, and there's like a handful of people that are trying to put this out here, that I was behind Steve regardless of whatever was going on until I wasn't, I guess. Because sometimes it's like, it's a damned if you do, because these people want you to be ride or die no matter what, and then are like, but why did she back Steve during this? And it's like, what the fuck can you pick a lane? And the answer is no, you can't pick a lane because you're all over the fucking place because you're dishonest. So, the answer is that there was a lot fucking going on that the mods are aware of, that the most of this is public. The mods did a call where they had conversations about this and talked about what was going on. It happened in the Discord, which was also public, and anybody could go and see it if they want. It may or may not still be there. I don't have control over it, so I haven't looked, but it might still be there. And a lot of it was happening in side chats. And so you can see these fucking conversations, and you can see this breakdown happening over an amount of time, and then it came to a head when he came to talk to the mods, and the mods confronted him. Was there issues about me, and did that kind of maybe circumvent the mods' issues? Maybe. But the issues with me personally seemed like it was like a bigger, but the answer is that had I chosen to work with Steve anyway and sign his bullshit random fucking employment / partner contract, the mods would have left anyway, regardless of what I did. Regardless.
We were just frustrated. And I did say, remember, Chesh, I did say to you, it's okay, Chesh, if you want to like work with Steve again. If you go back to work with Steve again, I'm okay with it. I am not supporting that guy anymore because too much of shit has happened, and it's all culminated into this. I'm not. So yeah, and I think so. If I'm not wrong, I don't know if I immediately got my refunds. I think so. Yeah, I immediately got my refunds in March, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, because
you requested a refund.
Mm-hmm.
because it was a scam, and I'll stick by that. I stick by what I say. I truly
It's a
believe
scam.
that was nothing but a scam.
It was a
You
scam.
were
Yep.
put out there because you requested money back that you felt that you were scammed out of, and you had every right to that feeling.
It's not just the feeling. She was right to get her money back, because if she wasn't right to get her
Yeah,
money back, GoFundMe would have been like, that doesn't make any
wouldn't have
Have
gave
sense.
given
it.
my money back.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
To accuse you of
so
the
yeah, so
things
he
he has. Wow.
and Aaron egged him on.
So one of the
She
things that I
Mm.
think is
Aaron
very
egged him on.
very 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 amusing, because if I'm not mistaken, well, one of the things that's very 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 amusing or interesting or convenient about this shit is that people like to think, like Jessie, for
That's what
example,
it is.
want to take Steve's word, Aaron's word on top of Aaron's word on top of Red's word. All people that were not involved in those calls. Like, Red's nor Aaron were in the mod call. Red's nor Aaron
Nor
were
the
in the
mod
media.
call, nor the mediation call.
Right. So we're going off of third and fourth hand information that may or may not have conflicts of interest. Right? So we take these conflicts of interest and we can take those and we can just put them in a little box and put them to the side for the time. The point is that they weren't even there. And even if they were, then you can pull out the conflict of interest and talk about that. But they don't show anything either. However, it's awfully convenient, right? It's awfully convenient when it comes to the facts of the matter. It's awfully convenient that they want to consistently neglect the mods. They want to consistently neglect the people who were part of the community that were supporting not Steve, but the non-sect show. It was the show. It was what, if you want to call it a scam, that Steve did this GoFundMe to say that he was going to sue Katie Joy for defamation, then you may or may not want to go a step further and say that Steve promised the Non Sequitur show, a show that had this philosophy around it. That show is currently riddled with bullshit transphobic as fuck rhetoric. He never provided the show that everybody was supporting him for 2 to 3 years. Not even once. Yep. People like to present this idea that, oh, well, Steve said this, therefore that. Right? Jessie wants to say, well, Steve told me about this and that was fucked up. Well, having no fucking clue what he's fucking talking about. No idea. Has no clue. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. You don't make those kinds of backing statements without verifying what the fuck you're talking about. And you don't get to say this thing that they're trying to do to Vada, which is, oh, well, I just believed a friend. No! That's not good enough. Because even if you did, it does not absolve you from your responsibilities and the things that you put your name out there for. Jessie right now is putting his name out there, backing Aaron and Steve and Reds to say that I did something to Steve. And I would love to hear the answer. What did I take? What did I take from Steve? I would love to know.
The whole community?
Yeah, but I didn't take that. They're individuals. They can do whatever they want.
I think so. That's what it is in their heads. Except Aaron and Karen, for some reason. Aaron is so ignorant of what happened in the non-sequitur community and continues to be ignorant. I don't know, but on purpose or what, that she can't use her brains, and then fumbling information, factual information again and again and again, and making a fool of herself. Aaron, drop it. You can't do that. You don't have the brains to do that. Drop it. You are not capable of it. You're incompetent. Drop it. You are. I'm not saying because we are like, oh my god, she's gonna cover this. No, you're not competent to do it, and you're making a fool out of yourself. You did that in the last live. You had to get off because people were not buying your shit, and there are people in the comments who are calling you out and saying, why are you bringing up stuff from the past for criticism in the present? So yeah, Aaron, just take a break, take a deep breath, and just stop. Get help.
If you can name me one thing that I took from Steve, then we can have a conversation. Because the thing is like the non sequitur stuff between me and Steve like Aaron is trying to present it as if it's like an elephant in the room, right? They're all trying to present this as if it's some elephant in the room, but it's not an elephant in my room. People know what went on. The shit is out there. It's always been public. Aaron's just straight up lying when she said Chesh didn't disclose this information. It's literally all over the place. I've brought it up multiple times.
It's on my channel, for fuck's sake. It's on a live stream on my channel, for fuck's sake. Go check it out.
And so, and then so you've got this scenario that's like, if you want to say that I fucked Steve over, you need to tell me what I took from him. And the answer is fucking nothing. And so because all I did was I removed myself. That's all I did. And so if by saying that me removing myself is taking something from Steve, it means you're inherently acknowledging that whatever I brought to the table had value, which undermines the entire point. Whoops! Oops! Oh no! It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I've been open about like either conversation or question about this for like the whole time. I think I took a break from answering questions and said I'm not going to answer questions about this for a little while because I did a big like Q&A kind of like this and was like, if you have any questions, bring them to me now because I'm not going to talk about this for a little bit. And that was mostly before my own mental health, and I'm more like, I'm not gonna let Steve drag me into a fucking piss contest. You can't have, he's trying to have a dick measuring contest with a woman, which means he must have started with the world's worst handicap. This poor man.
Do you want to read the main comment that Nikki made?
Oh, yeah. Let me pull that up. So, this dumb fucking thing.
That, guys. We will give you the closure.
Suzanne spoke out about the art, not me. So now she's saying that she's not calling Vada out for art. Sure, whatever. I spoke about an actual crime, whatever the fuck she's referring to, and that was about to happen. And she stopped a crime. I would love to know what the fuck crime that was and how, in what way she fucking did that. Feel free to go to Vada's community tab and spread the word she's scamming again. Panda said, you enabled Vada to talk about Charla. You read her TRO on your channel and claimed that Vada was right about Charla being Katie's employee. You never corrected Vada nor yourself after that. You supported Steve's lies on Vada's channel that Charla swatted him. Do you want me to continue the list? Savage.
Oh, God.
Please continue. Sure, I read the filing. That's not a lie. But there were lies in the filing. You dumb fuck. You call the CIOS and ask it. What the fuck is this supposed to be? I don't know what the CIOS is. And ask if Steve was swatted yourself. Okay, so you want people to call and harass the fucking, like, police station that is Steve's police station to be like, did you guys ever interact with SWAT? Are you fucking kidding me? Why are you encouraging people to call and harass the police? I do believe Charla is working with Katie, okay? But there's a difference between working with... There's a difference between working with and an employee of.
Yeah. Vada's claim was she's an employee, and you backed that fucking claim up, and you have never corrected yourself. Changing... Now, who's rewriting the history? Farron?
They share the same lawyer. That's it? That's all you have?
That's it.
This is... Okay, so the thing that kills me about this, that I feel like not enough people noticed, because they're focusing on Katie and Charla share a lawyer, or shared a lawyer in this scenario, right? But that's the only time they've shared a lawyer. And out of all of these scenarios where there's so many ROs and TROs flying back and forth, they shared a lawyer in one scenario. But the scenario that they shared the lawyer in is the one that Vada named them both in together.
Vada created that circumstance, and those circumstances that they had to come together, that they came together because of that, and then to try and twist it into something else and malicious is entirely dishonest without any proof, is dishonest. And again, I'll tell you where this lie came from. This was the fact that Steve alluded on Twitter that Sharla's lawyer has dropped her because she was lying. He alluded as much as on Twitter, and Vada ran with that lie that she didn't have a lawyer. Now suddenly both have the same lawyer, so KJ is paying for the lawyer. So obviously Sharla's working for KJ. That type of fallacious thinking is why they are in this trouble now. And for Steve not to correct himself when Sharla had a lawyer before, and I have looked at the sequence of events that happened with the lawyer. He didn't drop her. He did take himself out, and then he assigned himself again. And I believe that it's because of the jurisdiction stuff. That's what happened, in my opinion. But for Steve to not redact that and correct that, and for Vada to run with it, and for now Farron to repeat that lie, and you wonder why people don't trust you anymore. God dang it.
They all
Vada
ran with it.
herself. Sorry, go ahead. Yes, Kathy?
Oh, they all ran with it. They all ran with it. You know, Vada forgets how she's bragged about how tiny of a town she lives in. You know, there is probably only a handful of attorneys in that little tiny town of like 2,000 people. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean the county of Jackson that she decided to put out there for some reason?
Yeah. Oh,
If
you mean
would
the
like
fake
to go
name
and check.
and county and everything that the judge let her use to protect her?
Yeah, that's how any of that works.
Oh my
when
god,
when
that was like
none of it was public, when she's the one who made it public by sending it to Nikki, and then Nikki or Farron is the one that decided to put it on the fucking internet. Like, are you guys kidding me? You guys are you're making the problem you're complaining about. You're complaining about the problem and then making sure that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're doing it to yourselves. Stop hitting yourself. What the fuck?
But I agree with Manya 100%. Vada created this situation.
Yes, absolutely. I do believe Sharla is working with Katie. They share the same lawyer. Sharla tries with all her might to destroy that Facebook group and cause chaos. It almost worked. Anything almost? What do you mean almost? If that was Sharla's goal, she succeeded, and she wasted a fuckload of money over a Facebook group if that's all she was going after. Oh my god. This is the speech of somebody who doesn't care about their friends and what they might be going through from a lawsuit point of view, and somebody who's currently not being affected by said lawsuits yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Very rich coming from Farron, sitting in Canada,
This is the way somebody talks who thinks they're untouchable.
She's not doing very good damage control.
No, God, no.
Nah, nobody's buying her shit. No one's buying her shit. Nor Erin's anymore. People are like, we can't trust you with shit. This thing happened 5 months ago, and now you decided, oh, now it matters. Yeah, okay.
Now it's awfully convenient.
5 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody calls this out 5 months ago, and it's awfully convenient when, like, legal boot starts coming down. It's like, oh, shit!
Let's bring it up. We gotta do something here. We gotta spin this. We gotta do something. Take the heat off us, put it all on her. And I don't like Vada. For good reason.
That's fair. The thing is these people like to, like, take any criticism and lean it onto this, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, some kind of, like, a pinnacle of being, like, whether or not you like somebody. Right? And the thing is, like, I can dislike somebody or like somebody and be critical about it. The way I approach that criticism might vary depending on how I personally feel about the person, but the criticism should stand regardless. So if the criticism stands regardless, then whether or not I like the person is only so relevant. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like if I say, let's say I don't like Vada. I don't personally actually have much of an issue with the lady from a personal interaction. I haven't interacted with her. I don't care. I think some things are stupid. I think she's wrong about stuff. That doesn't say whether I like her on an individual level because I'm not familiar with her. The same thing about Elon Musk. I can not like Elon Musk, but I've never met the man. I don't fucking know. Right? Like, maybe I would get along with him fine. I doubt it. But, like, is that possible? Sure. But they like to try to make this shit personal when it's not. Regardless. Right? If I was friends with Steve once upon a time, good friend and all, then a good friend is gonna say, you're wrong about your shit. What are you fucking doing? Stop doing this thing, please. God, you're making yourself look bad. Why are you punching yourself in the face?
God.
Cut it out. Friends don't like it when friends hurt themselves.
No.
Yeah. Aaron's like,
and they're all the
why
same. They've all played their own part. They all played a part, a big part in it. And in my book, none of them get a pass.
Yeah, no. Aaron was like, oh, you were friends with Steve. Why are you criticizing him? And now it's like, yeah, people don't we are not friends now. It's as if like if you lie to your friends and lie about your friends and accuse them of bullshit, those friends will not be your friends anymore, Aaron. That's how friendships work. Not like keeping problematic people around you just because they're not attacking you. That's selfish. The same thing with the wolf guy, the same thing with that unicornus account, and then same thing with Vada. You're still keeping her around, and I know why, because you can weaponize all of them against people who criticize you, and and that's selfish as fuck. So yeah, don't be going around and dictating to us or like preaching to us about friendship. You know what friendship is supposed to be. You are selfish, and we have some self-respect, being lied to so many times and then being shit on. Yeah, we don't want to be friends with someone who shat on us. What the fuck?
These people
if you are happy to do that so that you can weaponize those people later, go for it. But then don't whine that people are noticing that and calling you selfish for doing that.
These people have this fucking idea in their brain that when I was friends with Steve, I didn't criticize them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I criticized Steve the whole time. I shit you not.
I find that hard to believe about you, because I just don't think you're going to tell someone look, this is messed up. This is what I'm seeing. That I can see coming from you. You not saying anything, I can't see that. I can't see that.
I shit you not. There are entire swaths of people who, because of my association with Steve or how close I was to Steve at the time, think that I did not criticize him. Think that I defended every single fucking thing he did. Right? Like, they just did not hear the words I said. And I shit you not, then made videos against Steve using clips of me while still currently saying that I defended everything Steve said. It's insane.
Exhausting.
But it's not my job to fix these people's perception. It's not on me.
Again,
it's not my.
Everyone is gonna like us.
Right, these people are welcome to not like me. These people are welcome to give their opinions or say whatever they want. Like Rev in the fucking side chat. He's tried to be like, oh yeah, but what about all the bad shit you did, Chesh? And I'm like, I'm more than happy to address it if you want to bring it forward. And he's like, I don't have to bring it forward. You know what you did. And he fucking left. And I was like, okay.
How about tell you what you did so you can address it? Because
I'm more than happy to, like, address your fallacious nonsense. When did you stop beating your wife? What? It's one of the. It's
ladies,
just one of those things.
I have to get off here. I have some Christmas things I got to finish up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me up. I wish I could stay longer.
Oh,
but I got to go
thanks,
I got to
Kathy.
go
Thanks for
bring these
coming.
damn stores. I dread it. I know the crowds are going to be crazy.
I would like to shout out real quick before you leave because I just want to shout this out before you go. We have 69 viewers. So that's the funny number. Pew 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 pew.
69.
Ayla Mal. Thank you
I'll
so much
see you
for
later.
joining us. We'll see you later. We'll
Bye-bye.
probably start wrapping up in a couple of minutes.
Okay,
can
I'll
live-
talk to you next time.
Yeah, see ya. We'll get you around again. This
See you
was
around.
good. We have been live
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours. So
Yeah, time to wrap up.
too bad Nonsense wasn't able to join us. We'll have to see what's going on with her maybe next time. Maybe we'll have to do another one. I mean, I wouldn't mind, quite frankly. What do you think?
Sorry, can you repeat that? It went.
I said it's too bad.
I phased out.
I said it's too bad Nonsense couldn't join us. I wouldn't mind doing another one if we can get her next time.
Yeah, why not? If she can, make it happen, why not?
Yeah, but it's also happy holiday Christmassy nonsense going on for people. So if you do Christmas, Merry Christmas. There's one thing that I do. I have one thing I wanted to show you guys quickly. I have one thing I want to show you. Let me pull up my thing real quick because I have to do this in Krita. Because this is like something that I just wanted to make a point of. Because like it's just a little bit of an analogy that kind of goes with like how to kind of deal with this kind of stuff, because again there's so much when it comes to trying to navigate this kind of shit. And so let me just make something real quick. Why? Oh, fuck off. There we go. Let me just do one more thing. Just so I can build this analogy properly.
Yeah. Take your time. Take your time. We ain't running anywhere.
There we go. Okay. Let me show you this. Okay. So this is, I've got my critter program, and if I just do this, right, and I show you, look, it's a rectangle. Do you believe me? Do you believe me that this is a rectangle?
It looks like a line.
Yeah, so it's like a short on either side. It's right. What about if I show you this one over here? What if I hold on. What if I do something a little bit bigger and I go, what about that? Look, it's a rectangle. I zoom in real quick and be like, look, it's a rectangle. Do you believe me?
No, that's a trapezoid, if I might say.
Oh, like well, what do you mean? How could you tell me how? Okay, so maybe I go, all right, fine. It's a trapezoid. Sure. Fine. Maybe it is a trapezoid. And I go, fine, it's a trapezoid technically, because, if you sit here, if you draw like a line, it's not quite like, let me just make this smaller so you can see what I'm getting at. So you can see like, oh yeah, okay, so the line is like, this line is flat, this line's straight, and this line is straight, but this line and this line aren't quite straight, right? Like, so, like, oh, you're just being like a little bit technical about it. So if I were to take it and I do this, it's like, oh, now is it a rectangle?
Yeah.
Now does it count as? But what if I said, but wait a minute.
Parallelogram. Yeah.
But what if I say, wait a minute, this line on this side isn't actually straight. Look.
Yeah.
That's not actually a straight line. And this isn't a straight line either. So now what you've done is you've pointed out something that means that maybe this line, there are indicators to this rectangle that might be more accurately described as a parallelogram. What if it's not either of those things? And what if I zoom out and look at the rest of it? What if it was a circle the whole time?
Oh my god, no!
Then what? Was I lying to you?
In a way.
In a way, no, I absolutely was. If I knew it was a circle, all I'm getting at is just because I show you a section of something and don't show you the rest of it, and even if I get defensive when I say, well, you're just calling it a parallelogram, now it's semantics about like just being a little bit more technically correct, when actually what you were seeing was indications of what I was saying was bullshit. And then when you zoom out and you're like, oh, wait a minute, the whole thing wasn't even a rectangle to begin with. The whole thing wasn't even a parallelogram to begin with. The whole thing was actually a circle. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is what we've been doing. This is what we've been doing. We've been looking at people who are bullshitting about something, like a small portion of something, and then when they're like, oh, well, maybe nonsense wasn't really actually Katie Joy, maybe she's just working for Katie Joy, that's the parallelogram. But it turns out it was actually just a circle the whole fucking time because they're all fucking lying to you.
You're
welcome!
They claim they know shit. Yeah.
Anyway, for those of you who are
you are welcome.
For those of you who are new to this channel and who have come to us based on this bullshittery that's going on, I'm going to just address to you real quick. This is the kind of stuff we cover. This is the kind of stuff we talk about on a regular basis. Sometimes it's on a big basis, sometimes it's on a small basis. It's about reframing and understanding. In the new year, we're going to be looking at going into how to recognize fallacies, which fallacies are, how to recognize them, and how to apply those both to your online life and how to apply those to your day-to-day lives and how you interact with things like that. And then we're going to go through, I'm going to probably put something together so we can talk about what are your standards and how do you figure out what those standards are. And sadly, all of this is fucking philosophy, which is very, very sad, but it is what it is.
No, Chesh, you said it wrong. It's philosophizing.
Philosophizing.
Oh yeah, philosophizing. Yeah, that's what it is. We had it wrong all along.
Somebody came in to come and get some drugs for me because I'm the one that has all of the good shit right now. For anybody who knows, this is Midol. For anybody to know, it's like for PMS and period cramps. So they came in looking for the Advil. I had stolen all of it. It's mine now, motherfuckers.
I don't blame you. You.
But in the future, so I think our plan moving forward, Mania, is we don't really have much of an intention of talking about this shit. But there's a reason, right? And the reason is there's no value. We've already demonstrated what they had to say. They've already demonstrated that they don't have a response to anything we have to say. So I don't think we're going to be covering too much about what they have to say until we start seeing some legal documents. Once there are legal documents, we'll have something new to talk about. Because right now, all they're doing, I think as far as we're concerned, is flapping.
Talking.
They're just shit-talking.
Shit-talking, that's it. So, yeah, so job's done for now, and I think so. Unless some new legal developments happen that come to our notice, we are not going to talk about it. But I really hope you guys saw what Chesh was trying to demonstrate, that how this group operates as a fucking gang to like harass people.
Yeah. Until, the only thing that would be worth talking about is if any of them actually do have any response. And I mean, like, a real response. As in, they look at one of the criticisms, and they take the criticism, they break it down, they address it. Right? One of the most, I think, ridiculous things we saw recently was Erin trying to pretend that we are doing to her the shit that was done to us. And that's not even remotely close to being true. It's
Erin,
not
you
even...
haven't faced any racism. You haven't faced any racism. You have not faced any impersonation. You have not faced threats from a YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers telling me that he can find where I live and I can contact your employers and you can get it all the way up in New Zealand. All right? You have not been called names like, drunken ADM, right? You have not been not went through. You have not been called like 62 IQ. Like yeah, Chesh runs with it, but you have not been called that. So
My favorite.
don't even start.
You haven't been
Don't even
accused of having
start.
sex with your animals.
Yeah, or that you want to kill 3-year-olds when no, that's not was being said. So yeah, try
Not
again.
even
I
close.
shit you not.
Not even close.
Not even 1% close. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? Because
It's
one, you don't
it's a
have the
joke.
balls. Yeah, it's a joke most probably. Like, and you are so full of shit that you actually keep that account around you, that Twitter account that has been harassing me and has been making fun of me as where I come from, as my caste and as my
Racist?
name.
You mean they're racist? You mean
racist.
Aaron is enabling and encouraging an account that is racist towards you and has been for years? Is that what you're saying?
For years. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So Aaron, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Shame on you. Fucking shame on you. And that's why I said what I said, that I hope all of y'all's Christmas is miserable. I seriously hope it's miserable. I don't fucking care anymore that whether it's holidays or not. Fuck you.
Something somebody said that I thought was really viable when it comes to like these people demanding respect and not understanding that respect is something that's earned, and respect and not getting respect is not the same as being harassed. Somebody not taking you seriously is not harassing you, right? But what can you expect to see from this channel in the new year? Because I think this is a viable thing that we should talk about, because this was a series, and it was a considerably long series, and I think there have been a lot of people who have found this channel through that series. So what you can probably expect from us in the future is less about these particular people, but more about these particular issues, and how you can learn how to navigate these issues and make sure you don't get stuck in these issues, whether you're a creator or whether you're somebody who likes to just watch and observe, and whether you're somebody who likes to participate. As somebody, yes. So we're gonna break down some of like what you would find in a fallacy, what you would find to easily debunk stuff like this. Like Manya and I have had a pretty easy time brushing Farron to the wayside. But there's a methodology. You can't just do that. You need to know how and why, so that way you can approach these things in the future, so that way you can avoid getting caught up in these type, because there are lots of creators. YouTube enables and encourages this type of nonsense. Content. And so how do you avoid getting stuck in that and having your energy and money potentially vampired out of you by these types of creators, by people who do this? Because these people are not
even
unique.
Money, emotions, and your your energy, everything. Yeah, it's like, so yeah.
Desi, thank you very much. It's not the first time I've heard that Steve was getting in my way. But so we're gonna break down. We're gonna spend some time. We're gonna break down some of, as much as me and Manya keep saying, oh, this is gaslighting. Oh, this is moving the goalposts. Or this is this fallacy. This is that fallacy. We're gonna take some time. We're gonna actually start breaking down some of these fallacies and explaining what they are and how you can recognize them. So what you're likely to see is you're gonna get more shorts from Puck, because everybody loves Puck, and more Puck is best Puck.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna start trying. Yeah, I'm also going to start trying to add explanations of fallacies that are less than 1 minute long, where it'll be an explanation, like, here's what it is, here's how you apply it, here's this, within 1 minute. But then I'm going to spend another 10 minutes in the video explaining examples, as well as, like, here's this person doing that, here's how you avoid that, here's this, here's that. There's one right now that's already available, which I'll probably redo, called the argument of authority. And where we'll talk about, in that video we talked about what is a proper appeal to authority, what is a fallacious appeal to authority, because you can have both. So I know this sounds like a lot and it sounds difficult and complicated. I assure you it is not what it sounds like. It is as much as the jargon is going to seem overwhelming. I assure you I'm going to take the jargon and we're going to throw it out the fucking window, because the jargon is not what's important. As much as you call it an appeal to authority, that's a technical term. You don't need to use it. All you need to know is you cited somebody who's supposed to know what they're talking about, therefore they are right, without actually verifying any of that shit. That's all it is. If I said, like, Steve is an authority on... Steve is right, or what I'm saying is correct because Steve said so, as if Steve is an authority on this thing, right? Fallacious. So we're gonna talk about that kind of... Yeah, we're gonna talk about that kind of stuff, and so I'm gonna try to do my best to relate it to sort of the type of things that we see on sort of a, like, your drama-y type stuff. So if we see Keemstar says X about Y, that's fallacious, and here's the reasoning behind why it's fallacious and how you can recognize it in the future so you don't get caught up and have your emotional energy and your physical energy and your monetary resources depleted on you. But yeah, that's the direction we're gonna go in a little bit. And Fridays will still be Fridays. We're just still gonna fucking...
Yeah, Fridays will be Dumb Fact Fridays. We are still doing the Unnamed Kevin about the world topics and world politics and tech news and everything. And we are still covering our Madame Pele, the wonderful Kilauea volcano in Hawaii with our with Landon. So yeah, do come around if you like to hear about there was a volcano that erupted in Iceland. So yeah, we will be talking about that in the next show. So yeah, we have a lot of... Thanks to Chesh, we have a big portfolio of content that you can come in and listen and enjoy. So yeah, if any of this is your mojo, you're welcome.
The things that we talk about when it comes to, like, the company is simply an example of the shit we talk about, because the shit that we talked about with the company is just me applying that shit. It's just an example of the application, right? You can take it and use it wherever because it's applicable across the board. That's why it works the way it does. That's why it's considered philosophy, right? And so we'll do a little bit of a breakdown, and maybe I'll use the company as the example to be like, this is this, and let me break you down step by step why. But now let's take the company out of it. Let's apply it to somebody like Elon Musk. Let's apply it to somebody else. Let's take it. It doesn't matter. Let's apply it to General Whole Foods. Because you'd be surprised about where this shit can apply. It can apply to fucking anywhere and everywhere. But also, the thing I want to start with very much is, here's my standards. Here's what those mean. And here's how there's applicable. Because when you're upfront about your standards, it means that you guys can easily point to that video if I'm being a shit about something. Because nobody's immune to it. I might be being a shit. Am I being a shit? And if I'm being a shit, you tell me I'm being a shit. If you hear any of us pulling any of these fucking fallacies, you fucking point that shit out. Because guess what? The fallacy is the fallacy and none of us are immune to it. Yeah, link the Discord. Exactly. Yeah, if you guys want to join us in the Discord where we have these kinds of conversations and call each other out on fallacies on a regular basis, and sometimes engage in fallacies because it's fun, not because it's, like, real, please feel free. Go ahead to join us. We'll be in there having a grand old time. I hope everybody has a good and Merry Christmas. I gotta go finish, like Kathy, also need to go finish the last of my Christmas shit. When are we back? I don't even know. I don't know. We'll be back soon. Enjoy. Catch up.
Most probably. Yeah. Yeah, we'll catch up.
Okay. Don't trust somebody to show you a rectangle. Say, here, look, it's got straight sides. And then when somebody's like, but that's not really straight, though. Well, yeah, you're just calling it a parallelogram. Actually pay attention. Actually look at what people are saying. Actually pay attention. Like, is it straight? They're telling you it's straight. Is it, though? Is it actually? Because are they? Maybe not. Maybe what they're showing you is only a small portion of what's actually the fucking case.
The big picture, yeah.
It's almost like this shit applies to politics. It's almost like this shit applies to, like, communication just between, like, any individuals. Friends groups, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. And
thank you so much. Yeah. And if you notice, nobody got shit on for asking questions in here.
Nope. We don't. We will answer your questions. we'll try and answer your questions to the best of our abilities.
Yep. And if there's something we can't answer, it's likely that we'll say, well, I think this, but I don't know, maybe it's something different.
Yeah.
This is just my understanding.
Yeah. So.
Context. Yeah. We're going to have to probably do a little bit of a chat about communication, because I think that there is, when it comes to communication online, there is a couple of different things that I think people kind of just on. And it's specifically that, one, everything is intentional, and two, context matters. Always.
Context matters. Always. Yep.
And as well as the result of what you said, whatever your intention was. That's the most, if you ever need to communicate with somebody, you need to listen. If you're not listening, you're not communicating. Period. End of sentence.
Simple as that. Yep.
People like Aaron, people like Steve, people like Vada, people like Farron, people like Renell are trying to throw as much shit at you as possible to hope that you aren't listening. That's why it's so sporadic. That's why everything is like, oh, but this, but this, but this, but this. That's why when Vada was presented with Jessie's video out the gate, she was like, yeah, but what about these emails, and what about this, and what about that, and what about this? Because there's so much video, there's so much shit, that it's like, we need to cut through the bullshit. And I think, ultimately, what we're planning on doing in the new year is teaching you how to cut through that bullshit. Like a hot knife through butter. Fuck
yes.
It. Stick to what matters. Kung Fu!
Ow!
Alright, let's get out of here. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully next time we'll be able to get nonsense in here, and maybe there'll be one more video about the company if Nonsense decides to join us. But other than that, you probably won't hear a lot from us addressing any of their shit, and it's not because that we can't, it's because it's not worthwhile, because it's all fucking chitter-chatter bullshit. If there's something worthwhile, we'll talk about it. But until then, we're probably just gonna wait until there's actually hearings and paperwork that we can actually talk about, as well as if there is something worth addressing, we might just hold on to it and wait and address it when we've got more to talk about. But do research. Always do research before spreading false information. Yes, if you spread false information, you're responsible for it. Sadly.
Yeah, and just saying it was my opinion is not enough anymore, especially in today's world, or digital world, and how everything's connected and how information is so easily available. It's unacceptable.
Thank you very much. We're gonna get on out of here. We'll see you guys next time. This is the direction for the new year, and hopefully we'll be able to conversate and maybe philosophize and maybe have some jokes and good times along the way. Thank you so much, everybody, and happy holidays. And we'll see you guys in the new year. Bye-bye!
Happy holidays, guys. Bye!